What's going on? 6 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Robert Walsh. Raiders ended a 3-game losing streak last night on Monday Night Football, beating the Packers 17-13 in Las Vegas to close out Week 5 of the NFL. Both teams are now 2-3. Jimmy Garoppolo threw for 208 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Devontae Adams still got his revenge over his old team, but finished with 4 catches for 45 yards. Jordan Love threw 3 picks in the game that was offensively largely flat. Titans made some roster moves yesterday. The Titans signed defensive lineman Taylor Stallworth and DB Tay Gowan. A little fact about Gowan, he was involved in the Zach Ertz trade to Arizona to the team's practice squad. The Titans also waived DB Armani Marsh and defensive lineman Jaden Peavy. And if you heard a loud whooshing noise last night, that was Braves fans collectively releasing a sigh of relief. Braves scored 5 runs to come back on the Phillies and win 5-4, tying the series. Austin Riley, who hit the go-ahead home run, made a play to seal the game.
Most closers don't. He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaps and he makes the catch. Harper might be doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over. It's over.
Will Bowling cannot be contained this morning. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Tuesday morning is off and running on RKW, brewed by 8th and Rose, hot and fresh for the next 4 hours with you right here on 104.5 The Zone, streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV. Join the conversation in the F&M Bank chat. It is wide open and ready for your comments in YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch. On the phone lines as well, 615-737-1045. We get you ready for the upcoming football weekend. Take more of your reaction to the weekend that was. Talk some college football with you and much more with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh. I'm Will Bowling. It is Tuesday, October the 10th, and the Atlanta Braves are very much alive in the National League Division Series. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yeah, it was loud in my house last night.
Woo!
I'll tell you that much. Holy smokes. I had to shut the door because Red was jumping all over the place.
Love that.
Travis couldn't control the excitement.
Love that.
No, you don't.
I was calling all my family
Braves
members just like, oh my gosh, we're back. Okay. I feel sorry for the people who live on my floor, but then again, I don't, because there's a lady that plays the violin at all hours of the day on my floor. And there was sweet music of cheers from me as Austin Riley sent a ball into orbit to give the Braves a win last night.
She's just trying to class up the joint a little
That's
bit.
it,
You know?
man.
Yes.
That's it. Will, I heard hating on sweet old ladies and stuff playing the instruments.
How do you know
and
she's
whatnot.
sweet or old or a lady?
Because those
You just know
grown
someone
people
played the
that play-
violin. You just profiled her.
Yes, I did.
In my head, she was also a sweet old lady.
Thank you, bud. She puts her cookies on the windowsill to let them cool, okay, after she bakes them in the winter. There might be some pumpkin spice cookies down there for you, and yet here you are hating on the violin that's in your building.
It's a double problem. She's never invited me over to try any.
Well, in that case, then she might be an old grouch.
There you go.
About that,
Exactly.
man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Might be an old grouch.
Braves, the first team in MLB history to be down 4+ runs with no hits through 5 innings of a postseason game and win. That's hard to do. I thought they were dead in the water.
Yeah.
Dead. I was giving my eulogy. I was already, we'll be in London. It'll be fine to move on. Maybe the Vols against A&M and Bama. Last year when the Braves got knocked out by the Phillies, it was on the third Saturday in October. So we're all in Knoxville. It's like, in my mind, would I have traded a Braves NLDS loss for Tennessee to beat Alabama last year? Yeah. Would I do it again? I actually don't know. But now I maybe can have both. Who's to say? But this was I tweeted it out. I'm not proud of it, but my heart rate hit 171 beats per minute when Austin Riley hit that home run. I wasn't sitting still. Like, I mean, I was like running around my apartment, to be fair. But I used to be able to run a mile in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and now my heart rate gets to that level when Austin Riley hits a home run in the playoffs.
Well, it's kind of like a must. I'm not going to call it a must win. I'm not going to say must
Oh,
win.
I'll call it a must
was
win.
a very, very crucial situation, I feel
Correct.
like. You cannot drop 2 at home when you have home field advantage to the Philadelphia Phillies. It just is not a recipe for moving on.
Yep.
When y'all's team start stinking, do y'all start making concessions with your Lord and Savior or whoever you think has bearing over games? I'll be like, Lord, I promise I'll start washing my feet more. I promise I'll start farting or stop farting in bed. Like, just please let us win this game. I won't ask for nothing else, please.
The way I did it in 2021 when the Braves won the World Series was I was like, I'll never complain about a team again.
Oh,
for the
my
next
gosh.
for the next hour. Like,
How long?
and then I would give the
did it
condition.
last?
No, but like for the Braves, it was like, and I held myself to that with the Braves for 1 year. Like last year, I'm serious. Anyone who like my roommate who was with me at the time, who's since moved, not because I was annoying to watch Braves games with, he just got married, and I really was fine after they got knocked out last year.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been during Chase McGrath ending Tennessee's losing streak to Alabama, it might have been worse.
Yeah.
But genuinely, like, it was easy to move on last year because Tennessee was genuinely in the hunt for the college football playoff.
They took over your emotions.
Yeah, well, not even that. It was just like it was a quick, like, all right, we got to focus on a different team that could win a championship. In that moment, because you felt like Tennessee could. But this time around, I mean, like, now it's like, okay, the 1 year buffer of the year after you won a title is over. Like, go do it again. Like, come on.
Well, and that's the thing. You won a title in recent years, like
Right.
2 years ago.
It's 2 years
So that's a nice feeling to at least know you've done it recently. And now you couldn't do back to back, but now you've got the feeling this could be the team. And that's why that was so important, Will, because it's like if that would have been a loss, I think all hope would have been like sucked out of Braves fans.
Correct.
And then it would have been a disappointment because this team is ridiculously good.
They're incredible.
They are good.
307 home runs this year.
Yeah.
Ties the MLB record. Honestly, it is the MLB record because the baseball was juiced in 2019 when the Twins did it. So Braves have the MLB record for home runs in a season, and they didn't have a hit through 6 innings last night.
It was like
It's
a
also
scythe.
like
Terrible.
it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's plus it's the Phillies. Like this is
Yeah.
the team we all hate the most. This is the Braves' number one rival.
How
It's
is
always
it?
been Philadelphia.
That's just, how is it going to be going back to Philly? Can you steal a couple?
Yeah, well, you just have still one.
Still one.
2
Okay.
games. You got 2 tries to win one, and then you come back home with Max Fried back on the mound. Now that he's actually made a start in the last 18 days, which hopefully helps him the next time. This could end up for him being like the World Series was, when in Game 1, he did not look good. Well, his first game, in Game 2, because Charlie Morton started Game 1 in 2021 in Houston. He was bad, and then came back and clinched it in Game 6 with him on the mound in Houston. So that's what I'm holding out hope for. The ultimate part of it is that the Braves may start a 20-year-old in this Game 3 on Wednesday, A.J. Smith-Shawver, who was
Can
a
you
shortstop in high school like 3 years ago, and they
No.
moved him to pitcher, and he's just a beast.
Really?
But you have the element of surprise in baseball because the first time a hitter sees a pitcher, the advantage always goes to the
To
pitcher.
the pitcher, yeah.
So you can only play that card once with him against the Phillies, and it's probably best to just. I would start him in Game 3 and piggyback him with Bryce Elder, the All-Star, who had like a 4.5 ERA after the All-Star break. Wasn't good after the break, but you have both of them available to you Game 3, and then Spencer Strider would come back in Game 4, which that's the one the Braves I think win.
Yeah.
So
That's
I don't
like,
know.
I can't imagine being 20 years old and
I think he's 20. Yeah,
or even 21, and
Right.
on the mound in a playoff situation. That would be
Yeah, he's 20.
incredible.
I was right the first time.
That's wild to me. Just because of the nerves that go into getting up on the mound, one, and also position changing the way he did. And he probably had pitching in his background coming up, but he's probably a better shortstop in his youth than he was a pitcher. It's just that he probably had a vet in front of him and was like, you're not going to play shortstop for us. How about you go pitch because you do have a cannon of an arm? I've heard that conversation be had before to where guys come out. I think Louisville had the number 1 overall pick about 3-4 years ago.
Brendan McKay.
A catcher. He's now playing right field. That's because the guy that's in Minnesota in front of him just got signed and he can't move anywhere else, but they wanted him on the field.
Yeah.
That's
not Brendan
fascinating.
McKay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, no.
Brendan McKay was the first baseman and pitcher.
First baseman and pitcher. You know, this guy was a catcher out of Louisville in I think 2019, and now he was playing right field when we went up there in the preseason. I was like, hold up, I know that name.
Yeah.
And to see a position change like that from catcher to outfield was very fascinating to me. But it was also broken down to me by baseball guys that look. Sometimes not having a position is a good thing for you going to the next level.
Sure. And that's
Like,
what
who
they
you're
do a lot at Vanderbilt. They bring in all these like 5-star guys, 4-star guys, and they say just compete. And sometimes they play at positions they weren't really playing
Yeah.
at in high school. But a lot of them go on to find success somehow that way.
Yeah.
Tony Kemp,
Talking about
example
Corey
of that.
Ray.
He was a catcher in 2019?
No.
Yes.
Well, Corey Ray was Nashville Sound.
No.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm
Is,
telling you, I know who it is.
Is Blooper versus the Fanatic the best
Oh.
possible mascot
That's a good question.
matchup in the major leagues?
Listen, when the Fanatic was celebrating championships, telegraphs were still being sent out around the United States. Like the Fanatic is famous because he's old at this point. Like the Fanatic, it's a played out bit. You know, it's time for someone else to step into the spotlight.
Time for blooper, you're meaning?
The Philadelphia versus Braves like Twitter war is a no contest. Like the Phillies are wiping the floor with Braves fans on social media. Phillies fans no regard for life or human decency in any context. The idea, by the way, the idea that the Phillies have this, like, I saw it written in a column the other day. Like the Phillies have brought a football fan base to baseball, and it's made them have the best atmosphere in baseball. Like, do you realize where Atlanta is? We're in the SEC. Like, these are bored SEC fans of the summer who become Braves fans every summer. And yes, college football has started, but SEC fans are still crazier than Philadelphia Eagles fans. Full stop. Yes. Done. SEC fans are better than Eagles fans.
Easily.
So this idea that, like, oh, Phillies, they have football fans that are coming to make a baseball environment. Yeah, like, so are the Braves.
That's a new thing teams are doing now, where if one team is having success in the same region, they're like, oh, we're just going to try to pile everybody into both of these. Like the Panthers, who are not having any success, are trying to get people to come to Charlotte FC.
Yeah, same owner there, too.
And, with a big chest hair. The old David
Wait,
Tepper.
what?
He
Wow.
got, dude, every press conference that guy does, he is hanging that bearskin rug out for everybody to see.
Oh,
The
gross.
bearskin rug.
He don't wear a chain because it would get caught.
Ew.
He cannot wear a
Gosh, that's
chain.
terrible.
Terry.
Hey, Bird, what the world? I need to see a picture of this beast, man.
Y'all missed that in the days of
Right.
the Code Blue games for the Titans in like 2007, when the entire conversation around the Titans on Monday Night Football hosting Peyton and playing the Code Blue games was the Titans have such a good fan base because it's SEC fans, and it's like the Titans are creating an SEC environment. That's a larger discussion for the offseason, by the way, is how do we get that back here and make it feel like an SEC football game in a new building? Or is that even a goal of the team?
Johnny
I'm getting
Goodale.
sidetracked. But yes, you're right, Robert. That is always an interesting conversation when you try to say, oh, well, these fans are better because ... Look, the Phillies have the best atmosphere in the postseason right now. I will say that. But you still have SEC football fans in Atlanta. So whatever. 615-737-1045. We'll get to your phone calls coming up next. We will also get to top 7 and bottom 3 in the NFL. Maybe a new worst team in the NFL this week. Certainly is for me. We'll talk about it coming up next.
When it comes to large home repairs, a lot of time we homeowners pretend we don't see the warning signs. We're afraid of what we're going to hear. This is especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. It could be something big that needs to be fixed right away, or maybe a small problem that'll become bigger later. Or it may be nothing at all. The bottom line is we don't know, and we certainly don't want to be sold something we don't need. What we need is a peace of mind. And United Structural Systems is a company to give you that. They have over 25,000 100% satisfied residential customers. And here's how they have made that happen. When USS comes out to your house, you're going to get a problem solver who can provide you a peace of mind to the customer, the homeowner. You're not going to get someone who's worried about meeting a sales quota or upselling the next big thing, but someone there to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. At USS, their only measure of success is how satisfied the homeowner is and not a closing ratio. Homeowners trust USS. They've been keeping homes dry and stable for over 25 years. They guarantee their best every single time. USS, serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. You can reach them online at USSTN.com or call them 615-488-7855.
RKW is brewed by 8th and Roast right here on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Talk a little baseball this morning. We got top 7 and bottom 3 coming up here in just a moment. You're not that guy at 7:20. Austin Price of allquest.com at 8:20, and the one and only Ron Slay, who joins us at 9:20 this morning. We begin with John in the Borough, first up with us this morning. Hey, John.
What's up, John?
What's up, everybody? First off, I don't know if I can say this on the radio. There's no bad words. But I don't know that I've dropped enough acid in my lifetime for that whole music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was some trippy stuff.
Oh!
Anyway, watching the Braves last night, my wife is not as big of a baseball fan as I am. And she started watching it a couple of years ago with me. And so last night we're laying in bed, and Austin Riley hits the home run, and I sit up in the bed and scream. And she looks at me and she goes, "If you wake that baby up, I swear to God you're going to sleep in the garage for a month." All right. Fast forward. Michael Harris makes the catch. Austin Riley makes the double play. Who sits up and screams? It's not me. I'm not sleeping in the garage. My wife. My wife sits up and screams.
Good luck moving her to the garage.
Who wakes up? The baby.
Oh, yeah.
The baby wakes up. So I looked at my wife and I said, you're the one that has to go upstairs and put the baby back to sleep. 2.5 hours later, she comes back downstairs. She gets back in the bed, and she kicks me in the shins repeatedly while getting herself, quote, unquote, comfortable. Anyway, go Braves. You guys have a great Tuesday.
Love that.
And we'll rock this.
And by the way, I paid off my debt, too. On my men wear pink bet that we had in the Memphis game, I actually have my campaign that I've donated to, by the way, John, just so you know. I'm a man of my word. You can donate, too, if you like to. There we go.
At the Ramon Foster on Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah, find it on Twitter. It's pinned to my account, by the way.
Babies are the worst.
That's one of those where even if you are right in that scenario in a lot of relationships, like you're still going to be the one that has to like go take care of the baby.
It's like the old-fashioned Larry the Cable Guy joke. It's like, my wife told me to get a haircut, and I told her that wasn't going to happen. So anyway, we were on the way to get my haircut.
That's so true.
Well, there's a comedian, Mike Birbiglia, who is my favorite comedian, who has this bit where he's like the worst part of life is like guy gets mad at girl gets counter mad at guy getting mad at girl buys girl frozen yogurt.
Yep. It's usually how it goes. Like, how
Frozen
are y'all
yogurt
this
part,
way?
very specific.
I was told a situation this weekend. It was just like, he was right? Yeah, like, he was right. That's how y'all act. I was like, what? Like, no.
Corey in Hendersonville is next up. 615-737-1045. Hey, Corey.
Correct.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I was talking with friends yesterday, and, we're huge, avid Braves fans. All of us are from the Atlanta area.
Good people.
And, yes, I love it. I've been a huge fan since, 91, as early as I can remember. But I was talking with them, and I was like, I don't know why we're starting Max Fried, because he's been way better on the road this year. He only played 14 games, due to injury. 9 of those starts were on the road, and the Braves won all 9 of them.
Yeah.
But he was only 2-3 at home. I figured maybe they could have went with Bryce Elder or something like that, but in the end, ended up paying off. I just wish we would have saved Fried for the playoffs, in Philadelphia. And I feel like we're going to take at least one of these in Philly because they took 5 out of 6 against Philadelphia on the road this season.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Corey. I think if Charlie Morton had been available and hadn't had the injury at the very end of the season, you would have seen him in Game 2 and then Max. But Charlie's hurt too. So for the second straight year, you have the Braves getting unhealthy at the worst possible time to face the Phillies. But Morton, who would be back for the NLCS against probably the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
the Dodgers 2-0.
The D-backs, man. They
Crazy.
are taking care of the Dodgers. I did not see that coming.
I did not either.
By the way, great ballpark there in Phoenix.
And
Wonderful
Phoenix,
park.
I've never been to that
Oh,
one. Is it indoor?
Great. It's
both.
retractable. Roof.
Okay. When would they ever need it with that
Chase
heat,
Field.
That heat on hell, the way it is out there in Arizona, man?
Well, it was funny. They were doing a they're having a conversation about this was on Sunday Night Football. I'm getting my bits confused. They're talking about Brock Purdy on Sunday Night Football and talking about how his parents own a hot tub company in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And Chris Collinsworth is like, why do you need a hot tub in Arizona?
Right. So
Mike Tirico was like, we're trying to help them sell hot tubs, Chris.
Right.
Chris is like, no, sure, yeah, it gets cold at night. Pretty chilly in the evenings. Like
it
it's
does
just, like,
during the non-summer time.
So funny.
I mean, living there for 2 years, I can vouch for that. It would get chilly in the non-summer months. So yeah, the hot tub would be available for that certain time.
Top 7 and bottom 3 in the NFL. Interesting this week. I've got a new number 32 team. I would imagine many of us do. Number 30, Ramon Foster.
I couldn't wait to put this team up there. New England Patriots. Absolutely need it. Yeah, absolutely. Averaging 11 points a game. I'll leave it right there for all you Brady stands and fans and people that bought jerseys here in Tennessee.
Bama fans.
Go back.
Kentucky basketball fans.
They're bad. They're 32 overall in points scored. The New England Patriots, and I got a best friend on that team. Sorry, Mayo.
So when Bill Belichick, who some might argue is the greatest coach in NFL history, now we can have that argument on another day in the offseason, when he says we need to start over, when asked after the game, what do you need to do? That's not a good sign, folks. Mac Jones is trash. I've never been a supporter of his or a fan of his, and now it's proving to be pretty much true. He's kind of been benched for the last 2 games late, obviously. 13 points in the last 3 games. 13 points in the last 3 games?
It's not great.
13 points in the last 3 games.
Right?
Things you love to see.
Put it at 30, baby.
Did you guys see yesterday Dan Orlovsky on Get Up said that if Mac Jones was the quarterback of the Niners, he'd be as good as Brock Purdy?
That's why I'm out on him now. He just says things
That's
to
so
say
funny.
things.
That
Like
must
he
be a
doesn't
contract
think
year.
that.
Rex Ryan looked at him like he was crazy.
His teeth are very white for a guy with a lot of toes in his mouth.
I think
by
they're,
the way.
what are they called? Veneers?
Okay.
Veneers. He likes feet.
Number 30, I'm going with the New York Football Giants.
I also have the Patriots at 30.
Okay. The Giants don't know how to block anybody. Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic is kind of regressing back to the mean a little bit.
Vic.
What is wrong?
Number 31, please.
31, Denver. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Russ is playing decently. That defense is giving up 36 points a game.
Couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Woo! That is 6.
Kayla?
So Denver is right there, y'all, and
Did we copy each other's homework?
I have them 31 also.
I don't actually have them 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to shake it up a little because I think they're really bad, but I thought I'd ease up on Russell for 1 week.
Oh.
So I
Nice
know,
of
so
you.
nice of me. I'm going to go with the New York Giants. 3 straight losses. They're struggling to score points. It looks like they've just lost their identity completely. And this was all based off of what last year we thought would be a team that would continue that momentum. So I had to put them in my bottom 30 this week.
I've got Denver there as well. Sounds like Robert does too.
Samey.
Really?
Number 32.
Is it consensus?
Who's 32?
1, 2, 3.
Carolina.
Hey!
When you're 0-5, that explains it all.
Okay.
Yeah,
You haven't won a game.
Who'd have
That's a
thought?
bad 32 also. They look bad, man.
All right, well, let's skip up to number 7.
Number 7, they lost bad. Buffalo. I kind of want to throw an excuse in on them because they left super late. The Buffalo's 7 to me because nobody else was, I thought, worthy enough to be above them in the win-losses that's comparable.
Yep, I put them at 7 this week too. I think it could have been a situation game when, you're playing the Jags, who have been in London for 2 straight weeks. They were a little banged up, just couldn't get in any offensive flow. So I still think they're overall one of the best teams, but they're a little still inconsistent. So 7 it is.
I've got the Bills higher because I think they have the best win in the NFL this year still.
Okay.
And I think you get mulligan losses in this league, and that was a little bit of one.
Okay.
But because of that, my number 7 team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Figuring some things out.
Yep.
And that loss to the Texans does not look as bad as it did originally. You can't really transitive property yourself to death in this league. You can a little bit more in college football, but that's a hard exercise to do anyway in the NFL. Travis Etienne looks really good. 23 carries, 132, 2 scores against Buffalo. Calvin Ridley had 7 catches for 122. Right now, there are so many 3-2 teams, and I don't know which of them, and 2 and 3 teams. I almost put New Orleans here because I don't care how bad the Patriots are. Beating New England 34-0 in New England is impressive. But I think the Bills are better than most everybody in the NFL except for the big two in the NFC and maybe Kansas City. So I've got Jacksonville with that win over them moving up to 7.
It was tough for me, too, because all of the teams I wanted to put at 7 lost. The Cowboys lost in disparaging fashion.
Right.
The Ravens lost in disparaging fashion. I've also got the Bills at 7.
Number 6.
I got Seattle 4-1 on the season. They went into a bye, but they are cooking. Both sides of the ball is playing real good too. Seattle.
I actually also put the Jags at 6.
Jags at
Okay.
6.
Okay.
I think what I saw from them, and I know maybe it was a thing because they were there for 2 weeks and they settled in, and the Buffalo Bills didn't have that advantage. But I kind of feel like they're starting to figure things out with Trevor Lawrence and getting into a groove. And when you look at it, they're now atop of the AFC South. And that's really when you're talking about your divisions, that's what your first goal is, probably to win the division. And right now they're taking the steps forward in that category.
Give me Miami number 6. Moving them down a little bit.
Okay.
I've got the Bills.
What's so surprising about Miami at 6?
Wow. I was just a little surprised. I was.
Okay. Well.
That was.
Wait, who do you have?
I thought they should have handled the Giants a little more.
Yeah, Tua
handedly.
didn't look good. Didn't play well.
The pick 6 was rough.
Yeah.
I've got the Bills at 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 5.
Or the Jags, excuse me. I had the Bills at 7.
Yeah, the Jags.
Kansas City.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Kansas City at 6 to me.
At 5, you mean?
I mean, yeah, 5.
Okay.
5. Kansas City at 5. That's where they are for
Yep.
the teams that are in front of them. They're not as strong as the other teams, I don't think, right now.
Okay.
I got the Dolphins. They're still, they bounced back with, like you said, Tua didn't look great. They scored points. I needed to see that. They covered for me. That was a very nice to not go 0-3.
There you go.
Maybe that's why I
that's
granted
fair,
them
too.
5.
That's
Fair enough.
too.
I'm going to go Buffalo 5. 11 penalties for 109 yards, most since week 9 of 2021. I don't know how much the travel played a factor in it. I don't think we have enough evidence personally to say, what's going on with that in either direction. But I do think Buffalo still is more talented than almost everybody in the league. They have Von Miller back. I know they're banged up on defense again for the second straight year to like a crazy level. But I will still put Buffalo 5 because, like I said, I think they have the best win in the NFL this year. The way they beat Miami at home and embarrassed them on their home field, puts them up there for me.
I've got the Lions at 5, and I should probably put them higher, but I love Dan Campbell so much.
Yeah.
Anytime you kick a team's ass like that, I don't care if they haven't won a game. They mauled the Panthers. The Lions are hitting their stride, and I don't think anybody in their division can catch them. I've got the Lions at 5.
Love it. Number 4.
I had the Lions at 4, actually. Jared Goff is almost 70% completion rate on his passes, man. He's just dealing. I will say this. They do have a vice, and that is their defense is giving up about 21 points a game, but they are scoring almost 30 a game. Stud of a team right now.
Yeah, I think this team, I have them at 4 too.
Yeah.
I think they're headed in the right direction. Look, when you're now on top of the division, and like Robert said, I don't think anyone's going to be really gaining a lot of ground, especially when you saw what happened with Green Bay last night. This is a new era in the NFC North, and credit to Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, and crew. They're doing a hell of a job.
They're going to have to figure out how to do it next year without their offensive coordinator because Ben Johnson's going to be a head coach.
Yep.
Give me the Kansas City Chiefs at 4. I will put the Lions ahead of them by virtue of the head-to-head win and the fact that they have the same record. So that's a little bit of a teaser to my third pick, which is going to be Detroit. But Chiefs blitzed on 48% of Kirk Cousins' dropbacks for Minnesota. That is their highest blitz rate in a game since last season. In weeks 1 through 4, they averaged 37%. A little bit of a different Chiefs formula for victory this year. Good defense, offense doing enough. Patrick Mahomes making plays when he has to. Travis Kelce finding blank spaces in the defense.
There you go.
They've, I don't know though. They haven't clicked on offense the way that you would expect them to. Maybe that's the Matt Nagy effect. I don't know. But I'll put Kansas City 4 still.
I've also got the Chiefs at 4, and I think part of that offensive upgrade you're talking about is they have unhitched their wagon from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He has basically useless in that offense. So they've
sure.
attached themselves to Isaiah Pacheco, somebody that runs hard, can get you hard first downs. And he's catching the ball a lot of the backfield, more than he did last year.
Jerick McKinnon in there, too.
For sure. And I think they're going to be a late blooming team. I've got the Chiefs at 4.
Unfortunately. Number 3.
Miami. And here's the thing. They are benefiting from the same thing that I think the Patriots did in that dynasty, the AFC East, man. Against good opponents like Buffalo, their team gave up 48 points. And against the Chargers, which they won, they gave up 34 points. And they ended up winning still. So good quarterbacks will cause them problems. Their defense is giving up, y'all. 27 points a game, so they have to score 36 a game.
Yep.
That 70 ball also helped them, too, against Denver.
Yeah, that's help.
So I've got Kansas City at 3. You pretty much kind of laid it out there, Will. And you're right. It is weird when you go down and kind of look at their points scored this year. I mean, 27, 23. They obviously had 41 against Chicago, but that's Chicago. 17, right? I mean, we're used to seeing a little bit more out of this offense, but I think it will come with time. What I do like is just the defensive side in terms of how they're playing right now.
Number 3, I have the Lions. 5-0 for the first time since 2011. Or not 5-0, but they have at least 4 wins through 5 games for the first time since 2011.
We've got the Dolphins at 3, but I think we're going to start seeing the cracks form. The offense it cannot keep doing this week after week. Ramon talked about the defense giving up too many yards. You can't keep doing that, but right now they're at 3.
And I imagine we have the same order at 2 and 1 because it feels pretty easy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Eagles 2, 49ers 1.
Yeah.
The thing interesting about the Eagles is this. They have the number 1 rushing offense and the number 2 rushing offense and the number 1 rushing defense.
Wow.
So when it comes to playoff time, we'll see if that stands tall. It's cute what everybody's doing in the regular season, but y'all know you got to be able to run the ball and stop the run in the playoffs.
Did they overtake that from the Titans, or were the Titans?
I would think so after last
Yeah,
week.
that's what I was
week,
wondering. I was like, I
last
wonder
week.
if they just overtook that for rush defense.
Just go ahead and let the 49ers and the Eagles play for the playoffs, and we'll just go ahead and like punch them in to the NFC, the Super
Straight
Bowl.
up. Mm-hmm. And on the opposite side, 49ers got the number 1 rushing offense and the number 1 rushing defense.
Jeez.
It's flipped from 1
That's
and 2.
crazy.
Yeah, they ran wild against the Rams over the weekend. The Eagles ran for 159. Brock Purdy, 10-0 to start his career.
Wow.
4th quarterback since 1950 to win each of his first 10 starts. Had a 144.4 passer rating in less than 4 quarters of work. Saw a lot of people saying that he's been too highly touted and too anointed over the past few weeks. And then those same people were saying, okay, yeah, this deserves anointing. This was a good performance
They're going to make me hate him.
against the Dallas Cowboys.
How
I
do
already
you
hate
build
him.
I don't know
trust?
that I
I
can.
hope not.
I definitely hate him.
How do you build trust to
Just
let
love the
him
Niners
be your
in general.
quarterback and not Trey Lance?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
He went in and did it.
I know, but like to be a coach would be like this 7-rounder is going to be our guy.
Well, they didn't have any other option. Like
So you're right.
He was the only
sure
quarterback on the
was.
roster, and so they put him in. And talked about that here. Best way to win a job is to go out on the field and genuinely just win the job.
Right. And it's crazy because he was coming off injury. And we didn't know if he would be the same. And they kind of still put that trust in him to be like, I think you still are our guy, Mr. Teaspoon Boy.
That's crazy.
That's right.
That's wow.
Coming up, if you were like me and your heart rate was in the 170s watching baseball, we'll recap a it's a Monday Night Football game that happened. It's better than no football.
I watched
Definitely
the whole
one of
thing.
the Monday Night Football games.
Of all the Monday Night Football games I've watched, this was definitely one of them. We'll recap it coming up next.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's called QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff, and it's Ramon Foster. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief also. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Imagine living life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, Life is all about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. The number is 615-249-4024. Again, it's 615-249-4024.
RKW is brewed by 8th and Roast right here on 104.5 The Zone. We'll talk some college football coming up in 15 minutes. Got a lot of choices for the team that had the best win of the weekend. Who was it? 615-737-1045 with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, and RKW Morning, always a win. On a weekend or a weekday.
Yeah.
Streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV. So last night, guys, I think the guy who's the worst coach in the NFL lucked his way into a win in Josh McDaniels. The Raiders had a 93% chance of victory, according to Next Gen Stats, before they attempted a 52-yard field goal on 4th and 2.
Doink.
And he doinked it, Daniel Carlson. That dropped their win probability to 75%.
Wow.
One decision to kick a field goal instead of going for it on 4th and 1, actually, as I'm looking at the broadcast, instead of NFL.com who wrote this. I don't know. This was just one of those NFL games. Somebody had to win it. I mean, I guess you could have tied, but somebody had to win it.
And really, you could say Marcus Peters won that game because if it wasn't for that horse collar tackle, they would have scored a touchdown there. And I wonder if that's something that we end up looking at to change the rule. Kind of like a clear lane foul in the NBA. Like, we're going to give you the 2 points. If they would give them, I don't know what the situation would be. That'd be tough to make that call.
That is, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, was talking about that last night. Typically, Mike Florio is talking about something, though I'm less inclined to root for.
I hate that we're talking about the same things.
I know.
That's such a dangerous play, though, man. That horse collar like that sucks, man. To be going full speed. And Marcus Peters, savvy enough, former Raven, of course, doing stuff like this. They pull people horse collar. I mean, it saved the touchdown, also helped them win the game. When you look at it, all in all, it's like one of those knowing the rule books better than anybody else type of situation. I don't think he knew it better than that, but to actually stop him from scoring a touchdown, it benefited them in winning, which is still crazy to me.
But what a horrid night for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 16-30, 182, 0 TDs, 3 INTs, 3. And just when I think in the start of the season, we're thinking, okay, this could be a guy who's on the ascend. And just the recent play by him, it's like, not so fast, right? I honestly thought, too, that final drive, they had enough time to get down there and score. And at times I was like, maybe they can make this happen. Now, I can't remember the receiver. He had an awful drop.
For them?
Was it Dobbs? Romeo Dobbs?
Yes, Romeo on that Dobbs. Final drive. And he wasn't as accurate, I think. And then there's an interception at the end or whatever. But Green Bay Packers, like, I'm starting to worry. Matt LaFleur, like, can you get things together with this guy as your quarterback?
Yeah, I look at it. It's his first year start. I think Matt LaFleur is going to be, gifted a little bit more time to get it right. Yeah. I think the intangibles are there when it comes down to Jordan Love, but transitioning from a franchise guy to a first-timer is always going to be an issue. You just look for small dubs that come your way in his development. That's what sucks about it. Nobody really speaks on that when it comes down to transitioning from quarterback to quarterback. Carolina's going through it right now. I think their coach came out and said last night? He would have loved to have C.J. Stroud, if I'm not mistaken. Like, think about the decisions that have to be made to find the next guy. That's why it's such a prime position to have as far as a franchise quarterback, a true franchise quarterback. I'm sure Denver's probably thinking the same thing. Like, Russ, you're supposed to help us out a little bit more. Sam Howell. Think about all the what could be quarterbacks. Danny Dimes is another one. Like, all in all, there's a lot of misses when it comes down to guys being the next guy. Jordan Love's in that same conversation to me.
And cousin Danny the Burrow, he said there was back-to-back drops on that final drive. The second one was Watson, and it was a little difficult, but yeah, he should have come down with the catch, considering Watson is, in my eyes, a pretty legit receiver.
It's almost like they're having to replace a back-to-back MVP. Do you guys know how many games Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions in his career?
Under 5.
Say twice.
He had 5.
5 of them? Okay.
Nice.
5. And that's how many years is he in now? 19? 20?
Been a minute.
It's been a while.
Farts, it sounds like this.
What's wrong with you, huh?
That might just be the substances he puts in his body.
Do you feel like Jordan Love, though, is feeling the pressure? Because you do go from a Brett Favre to an Aaron Rodgers, and it's kind of like at that point expected up there. But he's been sitting on the bench and learning for 4 years almost.
I still think he's working with house money. I don't care how long he's been on the bench when it comes down to his development. Nothing gets you right like reps. That's the reason Brock Purdy's kind of proved why he's sustainable in San Francisco. It ain't the fact that, that he's better than Jordan Love. It's the fact that he's been thrown into a system that works primarily for him. And he's gotten more reps than Jordan Love. Jordan Love's just now figuring it out.
In the F&M Bank chat, Cousin Brian has won today's prize for worst comment that's going to be in the chat today.
Oh, no.
Send Ryan to Green Bay and get whatever draft capital you can get. Why would you send Ryan Stonehouse to Green Bay? You got a perfectly good punter here.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't break it if it ain't.
Oh, you mean Ryan Tannehill? Oh, that's even dumber. We'll see if anybody else can top it. Coming up next. Hey, what's going on? It's Will Bowling here for my friends at Lee Company. You hear me tell you all the time that Lee Company is all you need. Well, it really is true through all assets of your life. And you deserve all the comforts of home, right? Including endless hot water at your fingertips, tankless water heaters powered by new recirculation systems. Save energy, money, time, and space. And Lee Company now has a limited time offer of $750 off a tankless water heater when you purchase a new recirculation system. And to make the heater even sweeter, qualified buyers receive 18 months of 0% financing. Take advantage of this offer today. Call my friends at Lee Company, 615-567-1000, or go to leecompany.com/promotions to get $750 off a tankless water heater. It's a great deal. 18 months, 0% financing. Lee Company, open 24/7, 365. They're ready to help you at a moment's notice. Remember this phone number, 615-567-1000, online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need.
7 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Robert Walsh. Raiders ended a 3-game losing streak last night, beating the Packers 17-13 in Las Vegas to close out Week 5 of the NFL season. Both teams are now 2-3. Jimmy Garoppolo throwing 208 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Devontae Adams got revenge over his old team, but finished the game with 4 catches for 45 yards. Jordan Love threw 3 picks in a game the offense was largely flat. Titans made some roster moves yesterday, signing Taylor Stallworth and Tay Gowan to the practice squad. Tay Gowan was involved in the Zach Ertz trade to Arizona. The Titans also waived DB Armani Marsh and defensive lineman Jaden Peavy from their practice squad. And if you heard a loud whooshing noise last night, that was Brave fans collectively releasing a sigh of relief. Braves scored 5 runs to come back on the Phillies and win 5-4, tying the series. Austin Riley, who hit the go-ahead home run, makes a play to seal the game.
Most closers don't. He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaps and he makes the catch. Harper might be doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over. It's over.
And coming out in the last hour, Justin Jefferson being placed on injured reserve after suffering a hamstring injury against Kansas City on Sunday. Justin Jefferson has never missed an NFL game in his career, playing a 55 out of 55 possible games. He's going to miss at least 4 for the 1-4 Vikings. For all your foundation and repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m. in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. We welcome you in to a hot and fresh new hour of RKW, brewed up by 8th and Roast, locally owned and operated by lifelong friends turned business partners who design the local shops as a way to feel welcomed, connected, and part of a community. Stop by and see them on 8th Avenue, Charlotte, in the airport, or go by your nearby Whole Foods or Kroger to go snag a bag of beans, grounds, whatever floats your boat. And maybe you're like us and the work coffee you had before 8th and Roast here was not the best. Just bring in a bag of grounds for your workplace for the day.
They'd love you for that.
Absolutely love you. You be the talk of the doggone office, man.
I've been noticing a lot of our coworkers in there. They'll just go in there just to sniff the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I just did that in the last break for about 5 minutes.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
It's like meditation.
The Concepcion
meditation.
Buena Vista blend from Guatemala. It's very good.
You know the coffee's good. Anytime I drink this coffee, I get a little the good sweats. From any good coffee.
It's the best. Isn't
Makes
it?
me sound like SpongeBob as I'm walking around in my Crocs. You just hear the squeak every step I take.
From the sweat.
Your Crocs. You still in Croc season right now, Bert?
Oh, it's always Croc season.
I was gonna say,
always-
what's the-
I don't even know. I'll never wear socks. We'll be in December and I'll be rocking these bad boys.
Did you see they had some boots too they're making? Like the leather bound boots? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You saw them too?
Mhm.
Okay.
Everybody's
Wow.
going to sport a pair.
We're
Well,
going
my-
to have boots day.
My girlfriend says that Crocs are in sport mode when they're out in the public. In the general vicinity. If you're wearing Crocs around the house, you're in leisure mode.
Yeah.
It
But you
depends
can
where the
switch into
strap's
sport
at.
mode. Yeah, that's right.
If you got that heel strap up,
Mhm.
you're in the 4x4.
Look at that.
Anything's possible when you're in sports mode with Crocs on.
Eric in the Evident Bank says, I do not drink coffee and never will. It smells bad. How does coffee
Oh.
smell bad?
He wasn't raised
That's
right.
a hot take,
I feel like
Eric.
even people that don't like drinking coffee can admit that it smells good.
Some people just weren't raised right. That's all. That's cool, Eric.
If there was thank you for watching, Eric. If there was a coffee air freshener, I would buy it.
I don't know about that now.
Oh, yeah.
I
Best
don't
smell.
know about that.
Best smell out there.
Or like
Wow.
a coffee candle. I would rock with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Don't make me go find it.
there are some I think like that.
Really?
Vanilla bean coffee, I think I've seen before.
Maybe
Mm.
8th and Roast should start selling those too.
Ooh, that's a great another business plan
Another
by
business
Bert.
plan by Bert.
Business by Bert.
The Burt Business Bureau, BBB.
Yeah. the
Eric
BBB.
adds, it used to make me want to vomit as a child. We all do have this one thing, though, that we
Okay.
made us sick as kids and we never got around to it. cherry pie for me.
Tuna
We'll
salad.
never eat cherry pie
Tuna salad.
because, I just genuinely, I threw it up once and then never again.
Mine is because I used to have it for lunch every single
Yeah.
day. My mom would pack me a tuna salad sandwich, and now I'm over it. I'm
Fair
good
enough.
on tuna salad.
Some of those
That
things
smells
you
bad.
grow into, though, because I used to gag at egg salad sandwiches. I would bury them in the pea rocks at daycare.
Makes me want to
Now, I do like them now.
Egg salad
I
sandwiches.
love a good egg
I don't
salad
know
sandwich.
why
Oh.
my taste buds changed.
No.
It's
Well,
tough
what
because
is
you'll
it
go
for
in
me?
gas stations and they'll just be looking so good in those little triangle
There
containers.
you go. Okay.
I don't know if I have a.
You get the
food
boiled peanuts at gas stations too, Robert?
I do.
I was going to say
love
that's
boiled
right up your
peanuts.
alley.
Yeah, right.
How about the sushi?
That's
Bert?
that's a Carolina
had
thing
sushi
too.
at
Boiled
At gas
peanuts.
station?
For sure.
Yes.
If you see a hole in the wall gas
Uh-huh.
station, bet money that
Yep.
they will have some gas boiled
100%.
peanuts.
So
I was
with
up
the-
in Highlands, North Carolina for a wedding a few weeks ago. Boiled peanuts.
I could
Boil-
eat the shell on them.
Are they mushy?
Yeah. It's
They
like a
are.
bean.
So
Very.
why are you boiling them? I never understood boiled peanuts. I'm
It,
be
it
honest.
concentrates the flavor, kind of like we've been concentrating on the Braves more this morning than football. Because
I
Will
love
is-
that so much from you. I love that so much.
Why do you gotta be
Ramon
a
just threw a
professional back
pen
there?
at the
have a
window.
protective glass in front of me. Ah, brick! Oh.
Braves even the series last night. AL turned tonight on Fox. This is a sneaky good time in the sports calendar when you can wear a hoodie and shorts outside. College football on Saturday, NFL football. Actually, sorry,
Football all the time.
college football on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. NFL football on Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and then playoff baseball every day. It's great.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it starts earlier too. Like the baseball starts a little earlier.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Like you can get in and just start watching.
Uh-huh.
once
That
you're
is.
settling down.
If
Like
I-
Wednesday, there'll be 4 games on that will all start at like 1 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah, because you'll have AL
lot.
and NL playing all on the same day, unless the Rangers sweep the Orioles, which very well could happen.
if you had hypothetical kids, you taking them to their game at 1 o'clock if you're a fan of them?
I would.
Yeah,
You would?
if I lived in the city,
Mhm.
If
maybe.
you lived in the city,
Yeah.
the kids is
Because
going
it
to the
only
game.
happens
Yeah,
so
sure.
many
Yeah.
times.
Maybe one time.
Okay, I was just wondering because it's a ton of kids
That's
in
the
the crowd
thing
out here.
for baseball fans or like for Braves fans who have won a World Series 2 years ago and hope to win one this year. Like you almost want to save those days for the World Series. Well, World Series wouldn't be during the day. Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you taking them to the game.
Remember
Playoffs.
last year, the kid I mocked crying? I think he was an
Oh, yeah.
Astros fan, the little kid.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I'm-
He had a hard day at the office that day.
You subject yourself to everything if you go to the game and you want to be
right.
an adult. Absolutely.
It is tough for kids though to deal with these.
Yes,
I remember
it
going to
is.
school the day after a loss,
Still
knowing
tough.
everybody was going to be like, "Ah, your team stinks."
Yeah, it's like I grew up here in the one era where Vanderbilt would beat Tennessee in football.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's a direct reflection.
Thanks,
on you.
Ramon.
My
Yeah,
bad.
appreciate that.
That 05 season. Hey, but Jay Cutler was solid.
That was
Yeah.
my least favorite
Smoking
day
Jay.
of school ever. I got mobbed on the bus that day. Jay Cutler was fine. He was okay. He's probably listening to me right now
He was
too. but
cooking.
He's
Smoking
apathetic
Jay.
about
Yeah.
that, just like he is most other things.
That loss right there hurt me so much because
Same.
it was guys on that team that were playing that I played with in that Tennessee versus Kentucky All-Star game that we had in Knoxville, right, for high school. And it was a bunch of like Vandy dudes on that team. They had a running back on that team too. Stud out of, I think, East Tennessee was going to Vandy. They were just so cocky up there. And I was like, we got to beat them. Well, they beat us at one time. We beat them every other year after that. So
That's true.
There you go.
yeah, but that sucked. That 05 year was bad, man. It just was bad at UT. We might have to get somebody in. Well, I can be on
Wyoming.
talking about that. Yeah. No, that wasn't 05. That
I
was
know, I
08.
just- I just-
You
no,
didn't have
that-
to bring up Wyoming.
They
That
lost
whole
to
era,
Wyoming?
That whole
Yeah,
era.
my senior year. That was
That game wasn't on TV. We had to get the radio out and listen to that game in my house growing up.
And that was in Knoxville?
yeah.
No, that's the worst loss
Senior
in
day, I
Tennessee
think.
football history.
Wow.
Wyoming
I
was.
think it was senior day. No, it
No,
wasn't
you
senior
had
day.
Kentucky after that at home.
And we got back on schedule. with
Yeah, you
Kentucky.
did because you carried all Fulmer off the field.
That picture's
After
That
still
took
out
a
there.
lot of you guys to do that, huh?
No,
Easy.
absolutely. Nobody
Easy.
talked. It was me
We're
and
having a
Aunt
nice
Partner. We were
time.
having a
got a
nice
skinny
time.
bean
Hey.
That's the offensive line that only gave up 2 sacks the whole season in 2007.
Hey, man.
Literally.
Ow!
I know.
Just flag on the play. We were having a daggone good time,
Slay
man.
adds in the F&M Bank chat, Georgia State. Yeah, the two worst losses in Tennessee history are Georgia State and Wyoming.
I ain't gonna lie. I was so tuned out in that era.
Put them in whatever order
Yeah.
you want, and I'm cool with it.
I'm going to put Georgia State in front of
Damn,
ours.
Georgia State.
I say Wyoming because it ended Fulmer more so that, like, Pruitt was going to be done regardless. Like, Georgia State didn't end, like, a good tenure for a Tennessee coach. Like, Wyoming was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, we got to make a change. Yeah. Who had the most impressive win in college football this past weekend?
I got my answer already.
So
Go ahead.
I know what yours is, so I went a different direction.
You know what mine is?
I do know what yours is. I saw the chat.
I haven't even decided
Oh,
yet.
you haven't?
I have a
Okay.
couple options. See where the
So-
spirit leads.
I do think Oklahoma, if you really look overall, is probably the most impressive, just for the fact because we weren't talking about Oklahoma much,
Right.
and I don't think anybody was really thinking they could take down Texas because everybody thought Texas was in the flow. However, I am going to say I think Georgia had a dang good performance and needed it. If anything, really needed that because we've seen Georgia this year, and yes, they've had a softer schedule to start things off. But when you look at this Kentucky Wildcats team, it's nothing to turn your head on. I mean, and they came into this game undefeated. We've talked so much about how Stoops is doing an excellent job over there. He's really established a culture, an identity for this team. But Georgia pretty much took care of business and did what they've done in the past when they've been the championship team. I mean, 608 yards to 183. I mean, the passing, the running, the defense holding UK to just 13 points. I think overall that was the most impressive for the fact that we hadn't seen it from Georgia yet this season. And I saw that win and I was like, against Kentucky, okay, that's impressive.
Right. Ramon?
Mine, Louisville versus
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
It's a good one.
I'm
Okay.
talking about, I think Louisville was the underdog. There was a tight edge in that one, and Louisville
Robert
just
picked
straight
it.
up went through them, man. Again, Notre Dame always, I see why Brian Kelly left, but Brian Kelly ain't doing what he need to do at LSU either, man. Sam Hartman, I think he lost the exact same weight to them when he was at Wake Forest, also at Louisville. Louisville has his number. It has Notre Dame number. To me, that takes them out of the conversation for national championship.
Yeah.
25 beating the 10. Heck, Jack Harlow in the crowd and everything, man. Heck of a time, man. Shout out to the L's, man. Nardo was super happy. My brother is a UL alum.
Yeah.
Big time for him, man.
Was
I
he
glad to
there?
see
Class
that.
win.
He wasn't there. He
Okay.
was at Disney last
He
weekend.
was just,
Yeah.
that'll pass.
Yeah, I'm going to go Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia looks to me like the overwhelming favorite to win another national championship. So Georgia dragged Kentucky into the mud and slapped them over the head.
Yeah.
How about Mark Stoops after the game saying what he had to say? Did you guys see this?
No.
Says fans have the right to complain. I just encourage them to donate more because that's what those dudes are doing.
Yeah.
I can promise you, Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. You're allowed to these days. We could use some help.
Wow.
Now that Kyle has a hand in it.
Right?
Kyle's looking for basketball players the same way.
615-737-1045, the number. Mark Stoops, not that guy in Athens over the weekend. Who's not that guy in your week or weekend? You can load up the phone lines right now, 615-737-1045. Who is not that guy? Something, some guy, girl, or whatever you hate in your week this past week. Let us know. Coming up next.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's called QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. And it's Ramon Foster. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief too. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joints to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Imagine living life this fall with no more pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, Life is all about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. You can reach them at 615-249-4024. Again, the number is 615-249-4024.
RKW is brewed by 8th and Roast right here on 104.5 The Zone. And we remind you that The Zone is going to London for Titans and Ravens this weekend. Tune in for us for the Buck Rising Show live from the Admiralty Friday the 13th. Thanks to the Ingram Agency. For more info, visit 1045thezone.com/events. We are told the pub will be alive and fun. It'll be great. If you're headed out there, that is home base for the Titans, the Admiralty, right outside Trafalgar Square. There is a football match that night as well in Wembley. So I imagine there may be an England fan or two who is enjoying a pint around us as well.
Why not?
Should be good. 615-737-1045 is our number for You're Not That Guy. A lot of options this weekend. I had 3 different options I had to choose from yesterday. A lot of complaining to do in the world. Robert, hit the music.
Bum, ow, ow.
615-737-1045. If you want to complain about anyone in your life, this is the time to do it. The city of Nashville and the world is listening and watching on 104.5 The Zone TV. Who is leading off this morning?
I'll lead off because it's a different.
Send it.
You're not that guy/guy animal.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Red. I've got to do this to you.
Oh, no.
Pup.
So Red is in that stage where he's 9 months old. So he's in the puppy stage, but I call this the killer puppy stage.
That's
because
correct.
It's once they really start to know they can chew on anything they see. So we know the basics, right, guys? Like the shoes, even the sides of the doors. What do we got? Underwear and socks.
Yeah.
You know, all the goodies. So that's fine because I've learned to accept, like, that's just what puppies do. I've had puppies before. So I kind of laugh at that. Well, I come back from an appointment yesterday and go to pick Red up at the store where Travis is at. And Travis comes out and says, Red's had some issues today.
Uh-oh.
And I said, what's Red done? And he goes, Red has now realized he can get into the lollipops. The dum-dums and the blow pops.
Let's go, Red.
So Red was minding his own business in the corner while Travis was working, and a customer came up to Travis and said, I think your dog is sucking on a sucker.
Let's go.
Travis goes over, and he's got dum-dums, blow pops,
Let's go.
wrappers off, in the mouth, did not eat it all, was sucking on it, so didn't get it down the throat, thank goodness. And keeps piling these things up. And then he gets the slap on the wrist, la, la, la. Like, Red, you cannot suck on suckers. This is out of a puppy's, diet, whatever you want to call it. This morning, I get a text. He's got 2 more dum-dums that he's opened up.
What's his favorite
on
flavor?
On the shop floor.
Is he a blue raspberry guy?
Yes, please text me, Travis, with the best flavor. Because at least he'll get points for that. Red,
That's
bro,
awesome.
I love you to death. You're my son. But you are not that guy right now.
Oh, my.
It's fair.
That's very unfair. Wow.
My guy had to be put in his place.
And he cares nothing about
He
that
cares
this morning.
nothing about
He's
it.
on to the next one.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Trust me, you're not that guy.
Not that dog. I'll go second this morning. Guys, I'm going to make a statement. And it might offend some. It might disagree with some. Too many athletes have podcasts. I don't need to hear from you. Taylor Lewan, Will Compton do a great job. The Kelseys, great. Everyone else, I kind of don't care. Especially when Micah Parsons takes things way too personally on his podcast that he does every week. This time he's going after George Kittle, and after the Dallas Cowboys got played off the field in prime time again, he's taking it personally.
George Kittle had 3 touchdowns on us, and he posted this thing to IG. He said, Dallas. I just feel like he's making it way more personal than it had to be. Kittle's my guy, but I'm going to say this. Laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You're going to make it personal. We can make it personal. That's cool.
I'm going to make it personal. Micah Parsons, I don't care about your podcast. And odds are, if you have a podcast and you're an athlete, I don't really care about yours either. There are too many of them. This happened during COVID. Too many people bought microphones and started podcasts. We need a purging of all the podcasts in the world. Micah Parsons, you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
How do you have time for all that is my question.
But you'll have some evening street, especially if he's getting paid for it. That's the benefit
Okay.
on
They
that
just
rookie
talk.
contract.
They
Yeah.
don't do any of the work.
just
They pay
basically-
people.
They don't
to do it.
produce it or
he's
edit
just
it.
talking.
You're right.
Yeah.
Ryan
Yeah.
Clark's is good. He's not a current athlete. He is a former athlete. Former athlete's a little bit different when you're
Tyreek
an
got
analyst.
one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like too many.
I just don't care what he has to say on a day-to-day basis.
Literally not even a little bit.
Mine goes to RG3. RG3, man, and
yes.
defensive. He could have
Preach.
delivered his message without dropping the F-bomb on national TV the way he did yesterday. I get Lamar's your guy. I like Lamar too, even though he's a Raven. I get it, man. But you ain't gotta potentially get your company a fine for you cursing out like that to say he's fighting for his life. No, he needs to just have a conversation with his wide receivers. Not like they're terrible when it comes down to what they got going on. Those are fixable things. That did not warrant you cursing on national TV yesterday. So RG3, I got to give you that one.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
You know, he technically didn't cuss.
What did he say?
He
Really?
said fudging.
Oh,
Why
really?
are we even going there?
And you see Ryan Clark's reaction to it?
He dropped his head.
dropped
Like,
his
Wow.
It looks forced.
It is forced.
He does that on purpose, man.
Yeah.
He toes the line too close.
Yep.
Like literally,
get
you
it.
are not the guy who is there to toe the line. You're there to give analysis, talk about the games from your. I cannot. He is the worst Robert. Any other Robert compared, I would take them over RG3.
Does it not just seem forced in the
It's
stuff
so
that
fake.
he does?
It is so
well,
fake.
he had a comment
Oh, my.
last week that was one of the worst I've ever heard on a broadcast. I hate to even bring attention to it. But he on a tackle, he said he was hung him up there like Jesus on a cross.
That's what I'm saying.
And you can't say that.
Oh, my
close.
God.
You genuinely like. Our
Yeah.
guy Brad Crawford posted that and was like, "Why is this guy not apologized for this yet?"
Yeah.
Like, that's
Not
a week
good.
suspension minimum, man. Like you cannot.
I couldn't believe that.
I feel like he should
He's
make
doing
this
too
list
much.
almost every week.
I know.
He could.
I know. Ron Slay in the Evan and Bank chat says, "Boom Boom Room." Yeah, Boom Boom Room
I
is
sign off on
an
that one.
athlete podcast I will endorse.
I sign off
10
on
times
that.
out of 10.
Yep, it makes national TV.
Robert Walsh.
My You're Not That Guy goes to people in fantasy football who veto trades. In my opinion, there should be no reason for a trade to ever be vetoed. Even if it is lopsided, if you're getting Justin Jefferson for name the player, I don't care. Part of fantasy football
Jeff Swaim.
is, there you go. If that goes through, I don't care. If you can get someone else to agree to it, I don't care if there's collusion. It's always the whiners who are mad because they don't have the assets to trade for a good player because they drafted poorly. If you're vetoing a trade, you probably stink at fantasy football. You probably don't have any people skills. You probably don't have any friends in the league who would be willing to trade for you because 9 times out of 10, these things generally even themselves out. People get hurt. You never know in this sport. So anybody that comes into the week going, I think the commissioner should veto that trade. It's unfair. They're going to be too good. Beat them. Make another trade. Find someone else to trade with. Stop being a whiny baby. This is fantasy football. This isn't real football. We don't have salary cap. You're not trading real picks. Do you want to win? Go get somebody. Or else be second place and get $30 and tell all your friends how you almost won this year. You big whiner. If you veto trades in fantasy football.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I'm with you.
I had somebody vetoed a trade. It was Travis Kelce and Jerick McKinnon for Devon A-Chain, which I think is very, very fair. You're trading an older asset for a younger guy who's blown up. I think he's second in the NFL in rushing. And people were like, that's not fair. He shouldn't get Travis Kelce. We don't know if that guy's good. Shut up. You're a weenie. Play a different fantasy. Go play World of Warcraft or something.
I love it.
You're a weenie.
I absolutely love it. I've never, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like you can get a little bit of collusion late in the season when, like, one guy, like, pays his buddy, like, $20 for a player just to, like, make a terrible trade. Like, how do you feel about that?
You got $20? I pay $25 for him. How bad do you want to win? That guy wants to win bad enough to pay real money.
I do think if you want to give a punishment that is something that, like, you really don't want to do, then all bets are off. Like, if your punishment is like, I have to take the SAT if I get last in my league, then let's play rough. Like let me drag you in the mud and let's do this thing.
I've also seen people have a grace period where you're not allowed to start that player for a certain amount of weeks. Based off,
I've never heard of that.
You give value points assigned to both sides.
Okay.
And how far the trade is outweighed by 100 points, 150 points, whatever your scale is, that's how many weeks that player would have to sit out before you could start them. But even I think that's egregious. Fantasy football is a dogfight. Every week, you're hoping you got waiver bucks. You're hoping you got waiver priority. You got to fight these guys off somehow. And I hate losing. So I have no problem paying for players.
Pay for play, baby.
Brian in the F and
so
Bang
glad I
chat
don't have
says,
these issues.
Will is not that guy. Calls me out for my opinion, but can't see. This is the same position the Titans were in when they made the switch from Marcus to Ryan.
Wait, what
How
are
is
you talking
trading Ryan Tannehill to the Packers the same thing the Titans did with
Oh.
Marcus and Ryan?
about?
How does that work?
No, I'm going to be real with you. That one makes no sense right there.
0 sense at all.
They got
Brian,
the
I
funds.
invite you to turn on your Xbox or PlayStation, whatever you do where you can make these fantasy land trades. Trade you 2 unicorns for 3 nights of shining. Like, what do we... Like, there are plenty of video games you can play. Where
All
you
right,
can
let's
do
hear the phones. Okay,
things like
let's
that.
hear.
We got 'em loaded.
Yeah, they're loaded. I
We
don't
give
wanna
the
hear
chat
where
a little
they're
bit of
going.
love.
Yeah.
Alex in Smyrna is up first for You're Not That Guy. What's up, Alex? Alex.
Yo, Alex.
Swing and a miss.
Oh.
Jason in Murfreesboro.
Freaking bum.
See if he's ready to go. 615-737-1045. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
You got to turn us down.
You got to turn the radio down, Jason.
I got you. I'm sorry. Hey, I want to start out with the saying, Robert Griffin, you're not part of that Big Burt brand, man.
Fair.
And then also, you're not that guy. Has to go out to the Cowboys, man. You're definitely not that guy. You know, y'all got tore up from the floor up for the Niners, and that's why we call you those girls. You the cowgirls. You're not that guy.
Love it.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
Love it.
You're not that guy.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate that. It was a good one.
I was solid.
Here for Cowboy slander anytime we
Always pile on the Cowboys.
Kevin in Clarksville, 615-737-1045. What's up, Kevin?
And how much are we doing today?
Great.
Good.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's been said already, but I have a you not that guy, and his name is Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos. He came on this season talking all that noise about the past head coaching staff or whatever, but I'm here to tell you, brother, you can't fix that problem, and you are not that guy.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
That's
Neither
Kevin
is your
James.
quarterback.
You're not that guy.
He is Kevin James moving forward now.
Yeah.
You see the Jets put out that picture after the win
Loved
over the
it.
Broncos? There's a picture of Kevin James as Sean Payton.
I
One
saw
of the
that.
weirdest casting decisions in the history of casting decisions.
Did you see Sauce Gardner?
I did
Yeah, I
not.
saw his tweet too. He
What did
said,
he
Let's
say?
ride.
Jets country, let's ride.
Dude, I love Sauce even
good.
more.
That was good.
Blaine on Twitter, at Ramon Kayla Will, says Evan Neal is not that guy. This is confirmed. I would agree. On and off the field. Evan Neal telling people to go work in a drive-thru.
Roll hot dogs is what he told me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just put the fries in the bag, Evan. Thanks so much. Put the fries in the bag. Coach B in Nashville is next. 615-737-1045. We just turn it around on people like that when they make disrespectful claims to hardworking Americans. What's up, Coach B?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Good. Good morning.
What's cracking? Long time no hear from Ramon.
I was wondering where you were.
Good to hear from you, Coach B.
It is good to hear from you.
Man, it
We need to
seems
be
like
coached.
it's been like 4, 5, 6 years I ain't heard from y'all.
It's been 88 years.
Yeah, man. So, man, look here. My you are not that guy can potentially go to 2 people. So I'm at the Lipscomb and NBA game Friday. Sloppy game, you know, woo, whatever. So NBA is up, and we probably got like 4 minutes left. First of all, the clock management was horrible. Kevin McGuire and his OC, trash. All right. So now we get to 1 minute and 4 seconds. We on the 1 yard line. The 1 yard line. Man, the quarterback could have sneezed and fell over and got a touchdown. Man, these some guns come out here in the shotgun. In the shotgun, we talking about 4th and inches. I mean, bruh, we right there. And he goes in the shotgun, and NBA stops us, and we lose the game on that nonsense. So My "you are not that guy" goes to either Kevin Maguire or his offensive coordinator. Because Lipscomb is trash this year, man. We showed Miss Trent.
You're not that guy. Pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Oh!
Thank you, Coach B.
Oh!
I thought he was going to say it could be two guys, either, Mike Vrabel or Lipscomb, because the Titans obviously did the same thing, went shotgun and short yardage.
Dang.
Ron Slay stand behind Coach B on that one.
Yeah, I said I've been waiting for this one. Yeah, big win for NBA.
Yeah. Ooh.
That got everybody going.
Did get everybody going.
Alex in Smyrna next, 615-737-1045. Hey, Alex.
Hello, how you doing, guys?
We're great.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so, I like to wear my Titans gear almost every day at work. There's this hater at work, he's an L.A. Chargers fan.
Those exist.
And he comes up to me and he says, "Oh, y'all wearing y'all's gear like y'all going to the Super Bowl." And finally, I had enough, but I had to be nice because I can't curse him out at work. I said, the Titans have a better shot of going to the Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill and Mike Vrabel than Justin Herbert and Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
Guy at work, you're not that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
You're
I
not
don't
that
think you're
guy,
wrong.
pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Put a name on it. His name is Alex, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, the only Super Bowl Brandon Staley's going to is on his gaming platform
Yeah.
of choice,
Or watching it.
or if he coaches his kids. Yeah. What are you watching over there?
No, the chat that you said we give love to. I can't believe, and I had this on my list and we didn't do it.
I've got it later
Cristobal.
on in the show, but go
Mario
ahead.
Cristobal.
I feel like Mario
Yep.
Cristobal was so easy of an
Yep.
answer for not taking a knee late against Georgia Tech that we're almost dancing on his grave. Like he by the world was made not that guy.
Yeah. He did that in Oregon too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But it was a different situation.
Yeah, it was.
Oh
But stupid, right? Stupidity.
Former
Stupidity.
Tennessee quarterback target Haynes King
man.
orchestrating a game-winning drive. Jim Chaney loved that guy. We'll take more phone calls coming up next. 615-737-1045. We'll start with Ryan and Mount Juliet on the other side. Get to some more of those college football headlines we've not yet gotten to. And the numbers for Dylan Gabriel in the Red River rivalry, impressive. Guy's playing well. We'll dive into more of that coming up next. More of your phone calls as well, 615-737-1045. The people are ready to go this morning for You're Not That Guy, so we let them continue. Right here on RKW, brewed by 8th and Rose. Seems like a lot of people around Nashville have had their coffee and their 8th and Rose this morning, so they are fired up.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just about the Titans, just about things going on in the world. We've got Mike Vrabel on Chigakonkwo and some audio from yesterday's press conference coming up in 15 minutes that we'll play for you before we get to Austin Price of VolQuest.com at 8:20. 615-737-1045 if you want to jump in. Ryan and Mount Juliet up next for You're Not That Guy this morning. Hey, Ryan. Ryan, what's up?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Good. Hey, so I want to give Not That Guy. I know everybody's been giving him a hard time. I'm a diehard Hurricanes fan, so this is very painful for me to say this because we love Cristobal when he's done, but you're not that guy once again. But also I want to give another one to the referee who called that play as a fumble when clearly his arm was down. He's not that guy either. So thank you guys, but Cristobal and the rest, you're not that guy.
All right. Ryan and Mount Juliet.
Yep, right.
Truth.
That whole game just,
Emotional.
it was so late at night. Like that game went so long. It was almost like it felt like I was dreaming. Like it felt like a fever dream. Just take a knee.
All you had to do.
Crazy.
He's a headline.
From one Ryan to another. Ryan in Lebanon up next with us this morning on You're Not That Guy. Hey, Ryan.
That whole game.
Ryan, turn down your radio for us, please.
Hey, Brother
We've
Ryan.
had a lot of those this morning.
Brother Ryan.
You got us?
Well, hey, You're Not That Guy goes to Christian Fulton's daddy. Man, stay off Twitter, man. Tighten up.
Thank you, Ryan.
I
Short
gotta
and
go
simple.
look now.
That's
I
a great
gotta go
pick.
look now.
Short and simple. Oh, have you not seen any of them?
I tried to avoid it because no, I gotta go look now. I'm looking on the break.
There's an article with pretty much all of them.
There's that many.
Yeah.
He probably sent 50 tweets at media members and fans who were not tagging Christian Fulton, but were just saying his name. And Keith Fulton was searching his son's name and responding very improperly to people who were disparaging his son.
Leave some suspense for me. I need to see this.
It's times like this I'm glad my dad can't hardly work his phone. Not like my dad would be tweeting at anybody anyway, but
Yeah, I get wanting to defend your people and all those sorts of things, but when you're saying, with your mom and stuff in responses to media, who are just saying, hey, Christian Fulton, pass interference, tough break, difficult mistake, whatever. I don't know. The worst one, well, he was calling people trashy fans. I mean, he called me a clown after the Saints game. I know.
I just don't know how much that helps your kid. I think that's the way I look at it, right? I mean, is that really helping Christian in this situation? I don't think it is, guys.
I feel bad for Christian in that, honestly.
Wow.
He said, social media is the best thing ever for people who have never played sports before. No accountability. He said that to Wes on Broadway Sports Media.
Your mom.
Yeah. Telling people to delete Twitter. I don't know.
practice what you preach.
Yeah. Kyle in Springfield wraps us up on You're Not That Guy, 615-737-1045. What's up, Kyle?
What up? My You're Not That Guy goes up to LSU's defense. It is hard being an LSU fan. Watching Jaden Daniels have a potential Heisman season just for it to be squandered by our defense. Y'all have a good morning and take care.
Thank you, Kyle. I don't know if he's having a Heisman season. I'll push back a little bit on that, but
Jaden Daniels, yeah. It's been up and down with him. Who's the clear front runner this year? Caleb? Still?
Right now.
Michael Penix is who Chris Lowe said he'd vote for yesterday on 3HL.
Crushing
Penix is still special.
My vote would be Brock Bowers, personally.
Give it to him.
It
I'm
needs
serious.
to be him.
That
It
guy's
does.
a monster.
Yep.
He's a monster.
I don't think anybody else in college football can do what he's doing at that position or at wide receiver.
If I had a Heisman vote and he continued to play like he's playing, I would vote for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
I know that that's not like what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do because it usually goes to a quarterback, but I'm sorry, he'd be getting my vote.
My thing is his resume is thick. Even if you don't want to give it to a non-quarterback, the fact that he's done this over now 3 years, his resume is thick enough to warrant him being a Heisman winner.
Right.
Even if it ain't a 1 year thing, he's got 3 solid years on tape that suggests he should be the Heisman winner.
The LSU thing, I had this on my list for later in the show. We can go ahead and get to it now. Is that that game against Missouri? LSU and Missouri combined for 46 first downs, 1,061 yards of total offense, and 22 penalties for 145 yards. LSU was down 39-35 before Daniel's touchdown pass to a wide-open Malik Neighbors. My over had already hit by that point. One of the easiest bets I've ever made.
Right?
It was in my Thursday 3. Helped me go 2-1. The LSU-Missouri over was genuinely free money. Two teams that defense wasn't even optional because it wasn't an option to begin with. Like, that's always the joke of like, oh, defense is optional. Like, no, it wasn't even on the test.
Yeah.
It was just offense or more offense were the two options. And then sometimes A and B, D, all of the above.
All of the above, definitely.
615-737-1045. Coming up next, what Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday about using Chigakonkwo more and using the word inconsistency about his number one tight end. We'll play you that audio coming up next.
People here know Genesis Diamonds as the value leader. They've proven it. And these days, value is so important. The thing to remember is this. Genesis is a true direct importer with connections that go back for 50-plus years. No middleman markups, no consignment fees, no third-party people to pay. And unlike other jewelry stores, Genesis works on low profit margin. Their business is built on volume at a great price, so they don't have to make a killing on every sale. It's the opposite of what you have come to expect in jewelry retailing, okay? But one thing people here really love about Genesis, this is where you can get her a better ring, a designer ring, a handcrafted ring that reflects how you see her. While other jewelry stores sell knockoff rings or crappy overseas rings, at Genesis, you can get her a stunning designer ring made here in America by top designers. These are rings made to last, okay? The bottom line is she will proudly show off a Genesis ring because it won't be mass-produced. It will be something unique, something amazing. That's what Genesis specializes in, combining the best diamond value with the best quality ring to give you the total package with a free lifetime warranty as well. Genesis Diamonds, where luxury and value come together every day. Check them out in Green Hills or Cool Springs. And don't forget about the incredible collection of amazing luxury pre-owned Rolex watches as well.
What's going on? Just about 8 o'clock from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Robert Walsh. The Raiders ended a 3-game losing streak last night, beating the Packers 17-13 in Las Vegas to close out Week 5 in the NFL. Both teams are now 2-3. Jimmy Garoppolo throwing for 208 yards with a touchdown and an interception, and Devontae Adams getting revenge over his old team, but finishing the game with just 4 catches for 45 yards. Jordan Love threw 3 picks in a game that the offense was largely flat. Titans made some roster moves yesterday, adding Taylor Stallworth, defensive lineman, and DB Tay Gowan to the team's practice squad. To make room for him, they waived DB Armani Marsh and Jaden Peavy. And if you heard a loud noise last night, that was Braves fans collectively releasing a sigh of relief. Braves scored 5 runs to come back on the Phillies and win 5-4, tying the series. Austin Riley, who hit the go-ahead home run, made a play to seal the game.
Most closers don't. He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaped and he makes the catch. Harper might be doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over. It's over.
And breaking news from this morning, the Vikings are expected to place wide receiver Justin Jefferson on injured reserve after suffering a hamstring injury against Kansas City on Sunday. Justin has never missed an NFL game in his career, playing 55 out of possible 55 games. Now he's going to be out for the next 4 for the Vikings. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome to the second half of your Tuesday morning RKW, brewed hot and fresh by 8th and Roast. We've got the Concepcion Buena Vista blend. Got some toasted almonds, some pear, some chocolate notes in this. I sound way more sophisticated than I actually am. Go by and see them, or go by your local Kroger or Whole Foods. Pick up a bag of coffee. You're going to absolutely love it. It's the highlight of the morning, guys, other than seeing your beautiful faces for radio. I had to turn that into an insult real quick. We can't be too nice on this show. It's the highlight of the morning. Coming in here. I don't make coffee at home now. Yeah. I say, you know what? Wait a couple minutes. Get into the show. Start the show. And then back in the kitchen, we've got 8th and Roast, hot and fresh at the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Really, really good. Go by and see them. Charlotte, 8th Avenue. Or pick up a bag for yourself. We've got Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, our producer, and I'm just Will. 615-737-1045 is the number.
He's just Will. Woo. All substance doesn't need the thrill. Is it his destiny to live and talk about this Tennessee Titans team? He's just Will. When he's in the swamp, he gets violently ill.
It's true.
What will it take for them to see the man behind the blend in Pantone 151C? He's just Will.
Am I really that bland? I don't know. 615-737-1045. Please
we
don't
can't
tell
be that
me.
nice. We can't be that nice.
No,
I was
that
being
is true.
too nice in that song.
It's a good point. It's a great point.
Yeah.
The coffee, we're bland compared to the coffee. So all of us.
This stuff is
all
so
of
good.
us.
Like, so we've had like the normal like medium roast coffee,
Mm-hmm.
but this blend that is from Guatemala, this like special bag of coffee. Basically, when you walk in there, it smells incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The second you walk in 8th and Roast, you've got people being productive all around you, getting stuff done. The breakfast burritos I've spoken about,
Phenomenal.
just from God above. I mean, manna from heaven.
They put Rob in a coma every time he has one.
I'm useless. After I eat one, I'm useless.
Who's Rob?
They are so good.
No.
But you have so many different options of the bags of coffee you can get if you go into 8th and Roast itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got like 10 different blends of coffee, I want to say, that you've got options of. This one is very, very good.
By the way, I'm such a visual person. I love the packaging too.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah.
packaging is legit, and the coffee cups, and I'll show them in the F&M Bake Chat. They're like light blue,
Mhm.
which is also a very visually appealing thing.
And they're
for me.
already insulated cups
Yeah.
too. You don't have to put a sleeve around.
That is something we need as a society, to have more coffee places that understand their cups are very hot. Like, I know the really big ones have, like McDonald's has like the insulated cups and everything, and like
because they were sued.
Yeah, because they were the ones that started the caution
right.
hot lawsuit. But like, I love that 8th and Roast does this because it's basically like double cupped,
Yeah,
like a little bit on the outside in the light blue part. It's
very
very
helpful.
Double cup like a Houston rapper.
good. Okay,
Woo!
double cup love. You're the one I lean on.
I knew you would pick up what I was putting down.
Best I ever had. This coffee. 615-737-1045. Come on.
Got this drink in my cup.
What
Best
is
I-
wrong with y'all, dude?
Oh, it's on my double cups, man.
We're having a nice time.
We're having a nice time. Double cup. I got this drink in my cup.
You know who wasn't having a nice time yesterday? Mike Vrabel talking about Chicaconquo at Ascension St. Thomas
Hold on,
Sports
you
Park.
distracted me so much I don't have
I know. I was like, what's going on back there?
All right, now it's good.
Okay.
This is interesting. Yesterday from Mike
Mm-hmm.
Vrabel.
5 weeks in, how are you feeling about how Chig has developed in year 2 so far this season?
Yeah, I think he's just inconsistent, and some of that's our ability to try to find ways to get him the ball, within what we're trying to do. But some of that's on Chig as well. So I love his effort. I love some of the things that he's doing, but I think there's some details and some things that he can be better at as well.
Bert, real quick, man, rewind it. Look how ticked off Vrabel is. He don't even want you to get the whole question out. Yeah. He ended the question before it even started, man. He was just like, no, I got it. He sucks right now. Go ahead, do it real quick, Bert.
How Chig has developed in year 2 so far this season?
Yeah, I think he's just inconsistent, and
Yep.
some of that's our ability to try to find ways to get him the ball.
Vrabel will do that if your question's too long. He will cut you off and he will just give the answer.
Yeah.
Or if, like you said, he already has what he's going to say.
Right.
And he already knows the answer. He'll do that as well. It's hilarious.
He sound fed up.
Yeah. I'd be a little fed up with Jig too, would you not?
Man, I mean,
You got the OPIs. You've had some dropped,
the blocking we've talked about it the last few weeks. I almost feel like
yeah.
it's been like a dead horse at this point. Like it has been that, but getting him the ball more when he's not bringing the ball in often and also getting penalties in all of this, it's been a rough start to his second year, man. That sophomore slump, it is acting like it want to knock on his door every single weekend.
Austin Price coming up in about 10 minutes. Get a Vols report from him coming up here on the show. Ron Slay at 9:20. I think the interesting thing with Chig, at what point does Josh Wiley start earning more reps? Josh Wiley is exceeding my expectations from what he looked like in preseason, banged up a little bit in preseason, catching the ball when it's thrown to him.
I mean, he is. And then, of course, the way they're designed, I think you got to look at the way Tim Kelly is actually setting it up for him to get the ball, too. He's a vertical threat. That's most unique for me.
And that's the thing. Do you want to see Chigaconko on more vertical routes at this point?
Do I want to see Chig? No, Chig is good. He's good to make a move. That's the difference
Sure.
right there. The thing is, I don't know if it's the traffic that's getting him as he's attempting to catch the ball and he's getting gator arms in those situations. I look at it as like, dude, that's your specialty. He's supposed to be able to get the ball, juke, and make somebody miss and head to the sideline. If he continues to, to have a case of the dropsies or, it just be out of range for him at times, he's going to find himself, to your point, giving more of those passes to Josh Wiley. I don't think Wiley has the shiftiness that Chig has, which is why we were so excited about what Chig was going to be able to provide for this offense. If he's supposed to be the middle of the field threat that can move the chains for you, either his feet aren't together, his hands aren't ready, or maybe it's the football's been thrown to him that's off key for him.
Sample size has been small for Josh Wiley in terms of game reps, but I'd say in the past 2 games with the major plays he's had, he's earned maybe some more reps, right? And I also think you could use Josh Wiley in the red zone with the big body that he is and his ability to, he's a wide receiver turned tight end. natural pass catcher in that situation. I think you could start to utilize him down there as well. Also, there's not a lot of film on him yet.
On Wiley?
No.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
not. And if he can continue to stay healthy and make the plays, why not give him a little more opportunity?
I mean, you get what you earn in this
Right.
league, and he's proven to be Johnny on the spot when the ball comes his way more times than not. Instead of just blatant drops. That's what's been most fascinating. And I'm not worried about it for Chick because most people can, get that fix when it comes down to pass catching and whatnot. It's just that it's been too consistent in his first 5 games this year. It's just like, dog, we got to get something out of you, especially we're going to continue to create stuff for you. And Vrabel's talking about getting him the ball more. It's like, prove you deserve it more first.
In his career, Chig Okonkwo has 2 games over 50 yards. Were our expectations too high for him coming into the season, or does he need to live up to those expectations that we set? Is it our fault or is it his fault?
I think it's his. You're supposed to make – most coaches would tell you this. Your biggest jump is from year 1 to year 2, and if he's not making that jump as far as production goes, that's on him. It's not like he's not getting the opportunities. And I'm not down on Chick. It's just the reality of how this league works. If either you show or they let you go. There's no other reason behind that. You don't want to be a backup guy when you have – right now he's TE1 for this team.
Yeah.
If they can start to contribute more to what Josh Wiley is capable of, and this is where he was good at Cincinnati too. He can stretch the field. He's a big body down the middle of it, and he actually doesn't mind taking hits. That's one thing I've kind of seen in him. The pass that he's gotten, he know how to protect himself and get upfield a little bit unless he's been highly contested. It's been fair showing from him that I'd almost trust him a little bit more going into it if Chig doesn't clean it up.
Yeah, Chig knew the expectations coming into the season. Now, there were some high ones. I mean, I had people I was on a fantasy show. They were like, is Chig going to blow up in terms of fantasy? Because everyone wanted to draft, Chig Okonkwo. I don't know if the expectations needed to be that high for him, but I think in Tennessee, where you knew the realistic jump he needed to make, I don't know if he has done that or even gotten close to it yet. And you heard Mike Vrabel. It's the inconsistency. I think that's the issue right now.
Yep.
Is Chig good enough to have plays drawn up for him?
I feel like they have been. The expectation what he was capable of. Yeah.
I think he's athletic enough and a dynamic enough playmaker for this team to find ways to get him the ball. Kevin Dyson talked about that a lot with me doing Titans Talk Back last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next step now for Treylon Burks and for Jake Okonkwo, guys like this, where at the wide receiver position, when you prove you can do it, even in a small sample size, then you start to get schemed open versus just, hey, go run this route that's a concept that we would put any wide receiver in based on our system. Then the system gets catered to the players. I don't know. Mike Vrabel mentioned it. I think maybe it is time to try to do more to get him the ball. And go all in on it and lean more into it. I want to see Chig Okonkwo running vertical routes. I think it's this over the middle of the field stuff. I think he's got the athleticism and he's enough of a mismatch against a linebacker or a safety in coverage that I want to see him running down the field instead of over the middle of the field. Maybe that's the step for him.
Well, it seemed like they've actually contributed or given that role to Josh Wiley at this point.
Right.
His routes that he's had have been more down the middle of the field, hitting the seam.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because, hey, he has a height advantage over most DBs and safety, so you'd rather go that route. I'd love to see Chig be more in space, kind of like a Kittle situation to me.
Another comment in the chat says, I say trade or cut Chig and move on. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
No.
Why are we so quick?
There's the new worst comment in the chat
guys.
today.
Everybody clap for him.
Got it off, baby.
Ryan got offloaded from the
Brian.
dumbest comment. Brian.
Brian's stock is rising quickly this morning.
Let's just trade all our cheap players. Why not?
Sure. Coming up next, Austin Price. We'll never trade him.
Oh, boy.
No.
On how much healthier Tennessee is out of the bye week and a early preview of what to expect when Tennessee hosts the Fighting Texas Aggies this upcoming weekend at Neyland Stadium. Austin Price of VolQuest joins us next.
It's Ramon and Will for Kellum Stem Cell Institute, man. We've been telling you about these guys for a little while, man. If you're trying to feel better about yourself and not actually have to go under the knife or surgery, it's your own body's agents helping your body heal itself, and that's through inflammation. And it's not just a one-time thing to where it's like, oh, hey, I only felt good for a week. No, this is long-lasting right here, Will.
And I want to challenge you guys, if you're at the gym, if you're on your feet at work, and you always think about ways to get around nagging pain, right? We all have those one things that just bother us from day to day. You think, well, that's out of my control. There's not much I can do about the soreness. Well, there is something you can do. You visit the Kellum Stem Cell Institute, that joint pain, the inflammation. You're not going to believe the way this is going to take that away and make you feel like you haven't felt in years. KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Dr. Kellum is the best of the best. He's worked with professional athletes, and he can work with you too. KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Again, that's KELLUM StemCellInstitute.com. Austin 316 says it's time to talk some Vols right here on 104.5 The Zone. RKW is brewed by 8th and Roast. And we have got Austin Price of AllQuest.com on the line with us every Tuesday here at 8:20. What's going on, Austin? How are you?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
Good morning,
I was thinking
man.
of you last night and this music when Austin Riley hit a 2-run home run that, maybe if you might not be hearing my voice right now had he not. I might have still been in mourning last night. But, man, how was the bye week for you? You feel rested and recharged for a busy October?
Well, let's restart this. To kind of show you how I feel reinvigorated and recharged after a little downtime this weekend, I'm going to go Van Earl Wright. Hello, everybody.
The bye week came at the perfect time, Austin, is what you said?
Yeah, I mean, not quite the halfway point, but pretty much the halfway point, right? I mean, 5 games in, and, Tennessee needed the break. Cooper Mays needed 2 more weeks to kind of continue to heal up after a really gutsy performance against South Carolina. They needed 2 weeks to be able to figure out what life with Brew McCoy is going to be like. Just kind of heal some nicks and bruises, and I think it was a good time for Tennessee. Never a bad time for anybody that's covering the team, just because it's nice to have a kind of a little bit of a down week. But I think for Tennessee, the football team, it was a great time to kind of figure some things out and kind of reset and readjust.
And Austin, that's kind of where I want to go with you, man. Like you said, almost halfway through this season. How do you review this team so far, man, through these first 5 games and how they competed and now going deeper into SEC play?
Well, they're about where I thought they would be. I said really like all summer long, everybody kept asking me, what do you think? What do you think? And I said, well, they're going to look different. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, they're going to be better on defense. And they're going to take a little bit of a step back on offense. And that was a struggle for people to understand, just because they just kept thinking 70-yard touchdowns and 70-yard touchdowns and 55-yard runs and points, because it's Josh Heupel. But they were inevitably going to take a little bit of a step back. They lost so much firepower on offense last year. And the defense, I thought, was going to be a year more mature, a year more in the system. Now, the one thing I think they'd all like to have back is the game plan at Florida, which was not good on either side of the ball. But, they're about where I thought they'd be, making plays on defense, really being really disruptive in the front 7, somewhat better in the back end. I know fans struggle to see that, but they're a little bit better. I mean, it's fractions, but they're a little bit better. And then offensively, they are kind of who I thought they'd be, minus the lack of health on the offensive line, which seems to be getting healthy at the right time. And this is a big one Saturday, because if you win Saturday, you're 5-1 going to Tuscaloosa. And I think Tennessee fans would take that most years to be in that position, because that's where they were back, when Ramon played and before Ramon played, and, having success and not going into the Alabama game with, 2 or 3 or 4 losses.
With going into this, like you said, getting on the right track, and especially moving forward, how do you view the tackle play? Because I think that's going to be most important, especially with Cooper being back up the middle, man. Teams are going to try to pressure Joe to flush him out, and he's not shown to be wanting to be the runner. How do you feel about Gerald and John Campbell moving forward?
Well, I think that's Tennessee's best, too. So I thought the South Carolina game was huge, because they got a full game of continuity, and that's something they've not had. You had Cooper back, and I think that helps Spraggins, because I think Spraggins has kind of been down a little bit this year, but you go back to a year ago, he had Darnell on his right, Cooper on his left, and all of a sudden this year he looked at me and had neither guy, and I think having Cooper back helps Spraggs. Having Gerald Mincy, who's Tennessee's most talented right tackle, helps Spraggs. Gerald Mincy and John Campbell, I think John Campbell has been really, really solid through the first 5 games. He's not Darnell. No one expected him to be Darnell, but I think he's been very, very good. The right side, not so much, but I think that part of that is Mincy's inability to buy into playing the right side, because he's always played left and he didn't really want to move to the right. But he finally was going to get the start at Florida, and then he has the simple possession of marijuana, and they don't play him. And then the next week he plays barely, and then finally in South Carolina he gets the start and plays the whole game. And I thought that was Tennessee's best offensive line unit and Tennessee's best offensive line performance of the season, considering the opponent. So, I think this Saturday will be a big test, because Texas A&M has some dudes on the defensive line, and the tackle play and the interior of the line is all going to have to be on point. They're going to have to communicate well, and I think this is a line of scrimmage game. And Tennessee's offensive line, they're going to give up some plays to Texas A&M's defensive line, but can they limit it? Can the game plan limit it? They're going to need to take some shots because that's what Alabama had success on, but can they protect long enough to give Joe time? I think a lot of that stuff will kind of tell the tale of how this game goes.
Brent Hubbs joining us now on Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
This is Austin.
Oh, Austin. God. Austin
all right.
Price. I'm in my own world right now. My bad, Austin.
Hey, listen. Anytime you compare me to Brent, that's the only thing I don't want to be compared to Brent in is in golf games and age. I'm 49 yesterday. So other than that, that is an upgrade for me and a straight compliment. But,
that's the mulligan I get for the week there. Austin Price joining us on RKW.
Crazy.
It's like me being compared to some movie star. I'll take that any day. This is what's fascinating to me about Texas A&M coming into this game. Look, they have not won on the road. Dating all the way back to last year, they couldn't get a road win. How big is it with Tennessee being at home and maybe the environment that they can create to really ruffle things up for Texas A&M, who has been horrid away from home?
Well, they've been terrible under Jimbo Fisher away from College Station. And I think that this goes a long way. Now, their only trip up here was the COVID year, which was Jeremy Pruitt's last game on that December 19th. And, Tennessee's, had a stadium that was about a third full. This will be a vastly different Neyland Stadium coming Saturday at 3:30. Tennessee fans know it's like South Carolina. They're going to have to be loud. They're going to have to be into it. Coach Heupel's already, hyping it up. They're doing the Checker Neyland deal. This will be a spectacle, right? And so, I think you have to use that to your advantage to kind of continue to put a magnifying glass on A&M's, struggles away from, College Station. So, quarterback's good, not great. Max Johnson's a solid player, but, he sometimes, kind of gets, inaccurate, kind of like Joe Milton at times. And I'm not sure Texas A&M's offensive line is that good. And so you got a real chance to use your defense, use the crowd, get pressure, cause mistakes, and, kind of have this thing snowball like it did against South Carolina a few weeks ago. I think the crowd plays a massive role, Kayla, in this football game.
Austin, what's really been, I guess, the biggest bright spot for this Tennessee team as they continue to build on games, and especially maybe coming out of this one, what you need to see?
Well, I think it's the defensive line. I mean, Rodney Garner's got a deep group. He plays a ton of bodies. He's playing younger bodies. I continue to expect him to, really be more disruptive, get to the quarterback, and use some of these players who are really coming into their own. We talk about Tyler Barron. It's a contract year for Tyler Barron, and he's playing like it. I mean, he's playing the best football of his career. It's not close. And he has really bought in off the field, which I think goes a long way to him having success on the field. And then, James Pierce is he's hell on wheels. And then when you throw in Josh Josephs, who's starting to come along a little bit more and more every week. I mean, Tennessee's kind of got three guys that can really get to the quarterback. And then their interior guys, Omar Norman-Lott, Omari Thomas, they've been dynamite. So I think this is where a game where, Tennessee's defensive line versus A&M's defensive line, who has more success. A&M is going to make plays, but Tennessee's crowd, I think, helps them on the defensive side of the ball, which should allow them to make just as many, if not more.
Yeah.
Austin Price with us. Austin, a lot has been made about who replaces Brew McCoy at the wide receiver position. Has that answer changed at all over the last week with Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb listed as options there? Are there any other names you think could maybe get a look at that position?
Well, they just don't have a lot of bodies, Will. I mean, this is one area, wide receiver and tight end. They were really thin coming into the year, but Tennessee doesn't play that many bodies at wide receiver, so you thought, not a big deal. Then all of a sudden, Dante Thorne's got a hamstring that's flared up that, was here all the way back in spring practice. And then Brew McCoy has the terrible ankle deal. And all of a sudden you're looking and you're going, okay, it's Squirrel White, Romel Keaton. And Squirrel is a little tiny guy. And if he takes a big hit like he did at the end of the Virginia game, that can put him in a tough spot. And then you got these two true or redshirt freshmen that haven't really played a whole lot. Now, they started to play a little bit more. They played a ton in fall camp. when those guys were out for various reasons during scrimmages. You just don't know. I don't think you know, and I don't think you will know until they get out there and play a more meaningful game. You know, when Brew went down, Tennessee was in the middle of a game. They were in a solid spot. Caleb Webb was, handled himself fine. Chaz Nimrod had that bad drop, but then had a nice catch on that slant there in the fourth quarter. I thought that would give him some confidence. And then what's Dante Thornton? Tennessee's a couple of plays away from turning to Jack Jancic at wide receiver. I mean, and that's, I'm not being funny. Like, that's legit. And Jack Jancic's fine. If Jack Jancic played for MTSU, I think he'd be all conference. I think he's that good of a player. But I mean, like, there's still a step down in talent there. And, I think Tennessee's got to learn how to stay healthy. I saw Ramel Keaton during the bye week, and I said, man, they would wrap you in bubble wrap the rest of the year. I mean, I made that joke about Cooper Mays, and they didn't wrap him soon enough, and he missed the first 4 games of the year. So, I just think Tennessee doesn't know. They won't know. I mean, do they have an idea? Sure. I think they like both of the redshirt freshmen. I think they'll push Dante Thornton outside some, and he's going to have to step up. As long as he's healthy, he's going to have to play better than he's been playing. I think all that stuff matters. And then, of course, D. Williams is moving over and playing some slot now, because he was just wasting away on defense, not playing one snap ever. So why not throw him over there, get the ball in his hands on a bubble screen? He doesn't have to know the whole offense. He knows 3 plays. Hey, when this calls, do this. It's not rocket science. Just give yourself another body. The problem is when you do that with D. Williams, when they go tempo, it's hard to get him out of there.
Right.
Because when you sub, the other team can sub, and that's what Tennessee doesn't want to do. So, I think there's some give and take there. So I think that's a situational thing with D. Williams.
Austin, out of this freshman class, we spoke a lot in the preseason about Cam Selden, Ethan Davis in the orange and white game, of course, gets banged up a little bit. If there's one freshman you're looking at that isn't a household name so far that we might see more of over the second half of the season, who would that guy be?
Oh, man. I think everybody that's kind of playing. I mean, I don't think you'll see a big change in the secondary. I think you'll continue to see more of Arion Carter and Jeremiah T. Lander. And then, maybe Caleb Herring and maybe Ethan Davis. A lot of it depends on health. I mean, Ethan Davis kind of, got his ankle banged up a little bit, during the week before the Florida game and has kind of been out ever since. Now, he did dress at South Carolina, and he's had 2 more weeks to get healthy. He should be 100% by now because it was like a low ankle deal, not a high ankle deal. But, I mean, Tennessee's not real thin at tight end, so depending on where Jacob Warren's at with health, where McCallum Castles is at health, you might see an Ethan Davis. But I think kind of all the guys you've seen at this point, we'll just continue to see a little bit more as we go through the back half of the year.
Austin, here's a question I have for you. You have a Tennessee native, Walter Nolan, coming in, man, and of course it'll be interesting watching him play against this team. 7.5 TFLs this year with 4 sacks, man. Is Rodney Garner as petty as me to kind of hype his defensive line up more to kind of outshow him? Can I live in that world?
I don't know if he'll hype him up just to try to, outshow Walter, but I think, Coach G knows this is a big game, and I think, we had him out on Ball Club Confidential, and that episode drops later this week. And, he and I were talking, afterwards, and, I think he's very aware that, like, Tennessee's defense, a lot of their success will be dictated by how his group plays. And he's trying to get the most, and he's going to squeeze the blood out of that turnip until it has no blood left. Like, he's going to push these guys. Bryson Easton's playing fantastic. And Rodney Garner called that 2 years ago. Like, one of the most talented guys in the room just couldn't be consistent enough. All of a sudden started to be more consistent, starting to love the game a little bit more. Tyler Barron having his best year. Omar Norman Lott coming over from Arizona State has been fantastic. And Tennessee's getting solid play out of him, guys like Karak Garland. Again, Rodney Garner continues to try to pull the best out of each of his guys, and he's finding what makes each of them tick. And I think that's why you've seen Tennessee's defensive line be so good. But, I mean, is he going in there privately saying it? I don't know, man. I doubt it, knowing G, But at the same time, I think that there's some motivation there from some of those defensive linemen just because, Walter was over here a bunch and, ended up not coming here. And, it'd be kind of like next year when they play Oklahoma with DJ Terry.
Austin, on the way out, on the recruiting trail, obviously the bye week, an important time for coaches to fan out, see other guys, maybe recruit some guys who are committed elsewhere. We spoke about Jordan Seaton last week and how big it was for Tennessee to get him on campus for an unofficial and then maybe schedule an official visit later in the season. Is there anyone else maybe on Tennessee's radar they're pushing to get on campus with a big home game, obviously, this weekend, and then that Georgia game just a little over a month away?
Yeah, we'll see if Tennessee's been talking to Kai Bates a lot more. BJ went and saw him, Brian Jean-Marie, last Friday. And LSU's defense is just such a cluster right now. And there's a lot of talk of change. Matt House could be potentially out down there, change across the board on the defensive side if LSU keeps giving up so many points. And I think there's a chance Tennessee could get back and play there with Kai Bates. He's been talking a lot. Matt Ray talked to him this weekend, and he said he's hearing from Tennessee 2 to 3 times a week, hopes to make it up for the Georgia game next month for a visit, and is keeping his options open, even though he's committed to LSU. And, outside of that, we'll see. Tennessee doesn't do that a whole lot for whatever reason. I can't answer it. But, normally when, guys pull the trigger somewhere else, Tennessee moves on and, goes to new targets. So, I don't think much will come of the Elijah Rushing thing. I thought Tennessee would continue to recruit him all the way through the process just because you could always see this Arizona, divorce, happening. It just didn't make any sense when he committed, outside of the fact that they took his brother. Now I wonder what happens to the brother. But Kai Bates would be the one target I would tell you that's committed elsewhere that, Tennessee potentially would have a chance to flip down the stretch.
He is Austin Price at Austin Priceless on Twitter, covering Tennessee for VolQuest.com. Check out that post as well. Matt Ray doing a good job. All you guys just hustling over there. I'm a little ashamed, though. I don't know if he's listening, Austin. Sometimes when we get Brent on, a certain Grant R. in Blount County will send in questions. We're yet to have him do that in my inbox when you're on, so we're going to have to expect more from our buddy Grant.
I'm not sure he knows I'm on every Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But maybe he does. I don't know. I don't know what Grant listens to. Grant's the hardest working guy in the business. That's no lie. You tell him, hey man, take the week. Now he did, to his defense, take the weekend and didn't do anything. Anything that ran from Grant this weekend was a bank deal that he got, that he did 2 or 3, 4 days ago. Like he went and took his family away, and that's good because Grant works extremely hard, and glad to see him go and be able to hang out with the fam this weekend and have a good time. And we got a great group over there, just like you guys do, and we appreciate everybody that subscribes.
Absolutely.
Doubt,
Well, I did not get the price right today. So
it's all right.
The blonde moment of the month.
Players messed up, baby.
Austin, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, you.
Austin.
All right, there's Austin Price with us this morning. Kai Bates, by the way, the LSU committee mentions at corner, the number 11 corner in the country. So
I'd love to see that happen.
Absolutely. Coming up, more NFL headlines, a wide receiver who's going to be out for a minute, and a player that you probably tried to pick up in fantasy football who is also now going to be unavailable for a few weeks. That's next on RKW.
It's football season, y'all, and it's time to switch to Zen Sports, the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee. Changing the betting bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for Zen Sports with the referral code, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting with Zen Sports. 5%. Think about that for a second. That's insane. And while they're at it, Zen Sports also offers an incredibly easy-to-navigate mobile app. So you can find the bets you want to make on the games you want to bet on, and they guarantee you won't find an easier way to build parlays, too. So what are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sports books when you'll be earning real cash rewards with Zen Sports. Download today on the App Store or at zensports.com. Your wallet will thank you later. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 21 years or older and present in Tennessee to bet.
RKW is brewed by 8th and Roast right here on 104.5 The Zone. We go rapid fire around the college football headlines coming up in 10 minutes. USC, shaky start. Ohio State, little slow start against Talia Tagovailoa and the Maryland Terrapins over the weekend. 615-737-1045 if you want to jump in on the discussion. Some NFL news this morning, guys. Justin Jefferson will be placed on injured reserve. His timeline for return is to be determined. And, guys, I'm going to read between the lines and say that depending on the Vikings' record is what will determine when Justin Jefferson comes back from his hamstring injury.
Truth.
Pack it up.
He might be in a Cooper Kupp situation like last year where if he's ready to come back and that team sucks, pack it up. We'll see you in 2024.
Yeah.
Just my thought.
That's the way I would. I protect myself, too. The way that season's going up there, why would I run out there with them and they out here not helping each other? I mean, no, absolutely not.
I think it's crazy, too, because he's, looking for a new contract, and he is a primary part of that offense. I mean, he is a majority of that offense. Because you look at everything else, they've really, they parted ways with the running back, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, yep.
Now, do we see more Cam Akers now with Cam there? Do you see the run game with him maybe be utilized? Because there's just not much there. I mean, they've got Hawkinson.
Alexander Madison.
They've got Madison. Right. But I just feel like Jefferson was such a big part of that offense. It just kept them in games.
I mean, he definitely is the offense. The way I kind of see this, they can almost be at a point to where they can mortgage this into a top 5 pick for a quarterback next year because Kirk's on the last year of his, too. And if I was them, I don't know how much effort you give. I hate to say that as a professional and, to undermine ownership when it comes down to this stuff. But if you feel like Kirk ain't it and your star wide receiver kind of say, hey, man, I'm going to pack this thing up because y'all didn't pay me this year also, I'd be mortgaging for a first-round pick.
Is Kirk Cousins good enough to win a Super Bowl?
No. Well, he needs a good support cast.
Yeah, I think if the support cast around him was there and not making mistakes, let's not forget, you guys, what is the thing with turning over the ball this year with them? That's been the Achilles heel.
Turnovers for them. Goodness.
Trina, how many teams could win the Super Bowl this year with Kirk Cousins at quarterback? Definitely San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah. Philly.
I
think he takes them out of their element too much. They can't run the same kind of stuff. Philly.
Yeah.
I don't think they can run the same thing they are with Hurts with Kirk.
I would agree. You can't push Kirk Cousins.
I can't believe we're having a conversation about trying to end that play too. I love it. Stop it. I do. I'm a fan of the
like an offensive line.
And people have stopped it now. They have been stopped.
I like the
83% success rate. 92% success rate for the Eagles.
Right? They just are the.
Why are you mad at it? It's not like it's a illegal gymnastic move or something that nobody else can do. You're capable of doing this also.
Sure.
You're just not that good at it.
Didn't we even say Tannehill maybe on that 4th and 1 there could have been a little tush-push action?
I would have loved it.
Only way this changes is if this happens. On that play, because the quarterback is technically a runner.
Yeah.
If people start tattooing the quarterback in the helmet, meaning, all right, you want to lower your head and go? Boom, right shoulder pad to the helmet. I mean, that's the only way it's going to get outlawed.
It's kind of like the Cam Newton quarterback power.
There we go.
It's just what they have. They're just able to do that.
Yeah, but it's the stat that is given on every single broadcast. Like, you're not allowed to broadcast an Eagles game unless you mention how much Jalen Hurts squats.
Right. That's
it's
true.
It's like Josh Dobbs being an aerospace engineer, Grant Williams being accepted to Harvard,
Tannehill being a former wide receiver.
Wide receiver, Derrick Henry playing high school quarterback.
Yes.
Mike Vrabel being a Belichick disciple. Which, that pet peeve when people say Mike Vrabel is in the Bill Belichick coaching tree. No, he's in the Bill O'Brien coaching tree. Never coached for Bill Belichick.
Is it because we want to see these people revert back to what they are or be? Or, I mean, the other one too is easy to throw in. Coach Tomlin never had a losing season. Like, those are all in there.
Right.
You know, it's a bunch of them. Andy Reid, oh my gosh. Eric Bieniemy is another one. It's so many different sports cliches, I guess you would say.
I think you could put Kirk Cousins on the Lions and they could win the Super Bowl.
I'd agree with that.
Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff are equal to me.
I think so.
How serious are we about the Lions?
I'm pretty serious.
Okay.
Very serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see them play a premier team, but
they did.
Who'd they beat?
The Chiefs in Arrowhead.
That was the first game of the season. Not to make
biggest
qualifiers.
liars.
You're
Yeah.
right. It is a good team, and it's beating Patrick Mahomes. But
And Kadarius Toney.
I need that. You're right.
Kadarius Toney and the Lions had a big win over the Chiefs in Week 1.
Their realest competition, Cowboys. They honestly
Right.
can walk this thing. Well, they got Baltimore.
You seen the Cowboys schedule?
No.
Is it like
Read it.
I'm about to
Go
read it
find
off right now. I
Serious.
got
It's
it.
crazy.
Rams,
Yeah.
Philly, Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seattle, Eagles, Buffalo, Miami,
Yep.
Detroit. Ooh.
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 Cowboys are in trouble, man.
Woo.
Cowboys are stuck in purgatory with Dak, too. And they
Yeah.
paid him so much money.
Them ain't the boys.
They got
No, they
Trey
not.
Lance waiting in the wings, Will. What are you talking about?
That's right. I keep
I'd
forgetting
rather
that.
see Cooper Rush. 615-737-1045. Devon A-Chain, or I should say his name is now Devon A-Chan. He's asked for it to be changed. It's a Garantano situation
Okay.
with Devon A-Chan. So if you hear me say that, I promise you that's what he wants to be called now. Also going to miss some time
Yeah.
after many of you rushed to pick him up on waivers in fantasy football.
Because he balled out.
Yeah, he did.
Coming up, rapid fire headlines around college football, reacting to some of the biggest games. We haven't talked a lot about Devon A-Chan's alma mater, Texas A&M, getting within one score, and Jimbo Fisher making a very interesting decision against the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's next on RKW.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson with the Wing Vision Institute. I decided about a month ago now to actually go in, get my eyes checked out. Hadn't done it in probably 20 years, not going to lie. And they were awesome. I'll tell you this much. They really, truly treat their patients like your family. You go in, they give you the full kind of devour of everything when it comes to your eyes, getting them checked just for the regular things, right? And then just seeing if there's anything long-term you should watch out for, just to make sure that your eye health is going to be just as healthy as you are. You go and get doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, you got to check out your eyes. Not only that, but they also now offer things for the skin. Intense pulse light treatments. It's a new thing. Photofacial treatment. It rejuvenates the skin. Maybe you've been out in the sun for years and you're starting to see those dark spots, the sun damage that comes with age. The treatments also just simply even out the skin tone and texture. They do it all there in that office right here on West End. For more information on IPL or anything with eye health, you've got to check out wingvisioninstitute.com. Also, they offer free online seminars every Tuesday. So today at 6:45, go ahead and RSVP and schedule your free consultation and treatments today. It is wingvisioninstitute.com. Your skin and eyes will thank you.
What's going on? 9 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Robert Walsh. Raiders ended a 3-game losing streak last night on Monday Night Football to beat the Packers 17-13 to close out Week 5 in the NFL. Both teams are now 2-3. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 208 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Devontae Adams got revenge over his old team, but finished the game with 4 catches for 45 yards. Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions in a game that the offense was largely flat. Titans made some roster moves yesterday, signing defensive lineman Taylor Stallworth and defensive back Tay Gowan to the team's practice squad. To make room for them, they released Armani Marsh and Jaden Peavy on their practice squad. If you heard a loud whooshing noise last night, that was Braves fans collectively releasing a sigh of relief. Braves scored 5 runs to come back on the Phillies and win 5-4, tying the series. Austin Riley, who hit the go-ahead home run, makes a play to seal the game. And breaking news from this morning, Justin Jefferson potentially being added to injured reserve after suffering a hamstring injury against the Chiefs on Sunday. Justin has played a 55 out of a possible 55 games for the Vikings, and now he's at risk of missing the next 4. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour already on your Tuesday morning edition of RKW. We're brewed by 8th and Roast, and we've got a full crew in studio that's about to get even fuller. Coming up in 20 minutes when Ron Slay stops by, joining Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, and myself, Will Bowling. 615-737-1045 is the number, streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV. And you can join the conversation in the F&M Bank chat, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch.
Push, please.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Around college football, great weekend of games this past weekend. It was a good day to have the multi-view on your TV and get the 4 games at once.
Yeah.
Again, I complained that you can't choose the games you have on. They kept trying to put Western Michigan and
Arkansas
on there. I was like, I don't care. No, Mississippi State.
Yeah, state.
They kept trying to put. It was like all the games I wanted except for one, and then the other one was Mississippi State, Western Michigan. It's like I don't care.
Yeah. They need to. They do need to probably fix that.
Big time.
I agree.
That where you can set up your own quad. Yeah.
And honestly, now that baseball we're in the postseason, I'd like to then put a game on there too.
I did that last night.
Were you able to do that with football?
Mm-hmm.
And
you can
baseball?
do Monday Night Football and baseball. So I watched the Dodgers lose, and I watched Monday Night Football. It was great.
That was a quick drive-by right there.
It was.
That was a quick drive.
Couldn't be my team down 2-0 in the series after losing 2 home games.
Someone tweeted Jimmy White and said, "Oh, it was Buck," and he said, "Is Jimmy okay?" You know, because he's such a Dodgers big Dodgers fan.
That one's not over till it's over.
Right.
Even though it's probably over. That's okay.
It's all good.
I really hurt for them. Jalen Milroe. Career high 321 yards. Jermaine Burton caught 2 touchdown passes. Still hasn't caught a suspension for hitting a Tennessee student who stormed the field last year.
Jeez.
26-20, Alabama beats A&M. Jimbo Fisher not aggressive enough going for it on 4th and short yardage late.
I mean, they were getting beat up, though, aren't they, for the most part of that game?
I know, but you got to play to win the game. I know this Alabama team isn't, bully ball number 1 ranked Alabama, but you can't play not to lose at home against Alabama.
You can. And, of course, they new offensive coordinator as far as Petrino goes. That defense has been or was playing good until it wasn't against Alabama. You almost want to put faith in them a little bit, but they did. That was the one game where Alabama made somebody submit. It was in this one right here, man. And you got home crowd matters. Alabama still has the athletes. It's a matter of them just getting right. What are they ranked, like 11 or 12 right now?
I think 11.
11?
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this shakes out for them moving forward, man. I know a lot of people are not fans of Jalen Milroe, though.
Right.
But he is still their best method of
He's
winning.
the best option right
He's
now
the best-
for them.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, Alabama is still not anywhere close to being what we've seen them be in the past. They're making mistakes, man. I mean, even after the game, you could see Saban's he had lost like another chunk of hair because of the penalties that this team had in that game. I mean, I've not seen him as frustrated with the team, I feel like, than this one. And look, they're winning games, and that's worth something, absolutely. But I feel like just the undisciplined situations in the last 2 years, really, with Alabama. Now that I'm thinking about it, guys.
Well, that's where I was going to
been a
go with
thing.
it. Is that was the trend that killed them against Tennessee, were the costly penalties, the false starts, the pass interference, the holding penalties. There was a time where Alabama didn't get called for holding for what? It was 3 years in a row. I'm serious. It was genuinely like 3 years in a row. And in this game, Alabama commits 14 penalties, including 9 false starts.
At home?
For 99 yards. Well, it was in College Station.
Yeah.
It was in College Station.
And they turned it over twice. That is
and they won.
And they won.
That is a product right there of Georgia, Texas, and Florida State specifically. I'll start with those 3. There are others. But those 3 teams stealing recruits that were always Bama recruits before those 3 teams were kind of back up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama is now, I'll say, no longer immune to issues that mere mortal programs have. They can't just reload and be the same juggernaut every year.
Yep.
With a new quarterback. LSU was down 39-35. Jaden Daniels finds Malik Neighbors with 2:58 left. Pick 6 from Major Burns. Great name.
So awesome.
On the next Missouri drive, this game was, every time I would look at it on my other screen, I think I switched that to my laptop for most of the game. Every time I would look down at it, somebody was running free into the end zone. Every single time. It was great.
It was.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't know Missouri was going to play them like that.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to see Jaden Daniels just kind of rise up. That's the thing about him, man. If you want to talk about late game theatrics, I don't know if there's anybody doing it at the rate that Jaden Daniels does. What other game did they have this year where they ended up reeling off a dub late? I'm looking at the schedule right now. Was it Arkansas that had to come back and beat them? Yes.
It
That's
was.
what I was thinking. Like, they've had some games. And then, of course, the Ole Miss loss. It just wasn't enough magic left in that game right there. But he is a late game survivor. I love that about him. Although the start of the games are usually very shaky for him, he finishes well when it comes down to competing.
But I just think if you are playing ball in the SEC and you are expected to be, remember, when they came here, it was talk about LSU like nobody's business. Like they were going to be maybe up there with Georgia competing, right? And now you look at this team, and there's some exciting stuff on offense, absolutely. And I like that kind of football sometimes too. But if you're really going to compete at the top level, like y'all need to get a defense. The defense is non-existent there. And even their fans are like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I really hate that for them. They don't have
I
a
know,
good
right?
defense.
You hate that.
I've sent many tots and
Couldn't be my
pairs
team.
over there. I have, absolutely.
It's difficult to have Harold Perkins on your defense and be that bad at defense. Because if Harold Perkins was draft eligible this year, he's a top 10 pick as a sophomore. A true sophomore, I should add.
But apparently they're using him in ways that he shouldn't be used. He needs to be on the ball, and they're trying to do this NFL style of play for him. And sometimes you just either put the ball in the best playmaker's hand or set the best playmaker up to where he succeeds and does well. It's one thing I'll say I like that the Vols are doing with James Pierce is you're an outside rusher. You do it from the left side or the right side. Just do those two things right there. I won't need you playing up the middle.
Yeah, he was a linebacker, running back, and special teams guy, and then played basketball at Cypress Park out of Texas in high school.
Sounds like a big 8A school that probably has a McDonald's and Chick-fil-A in it, right?
Probably
there.
a 40,000-seat football stadium, if I had to guess.
What's the name of that school again?
Cypress Park. Let's look up their famous alumni.
Dang.
Elsewhere, Ohio State gets slow out of the gates, ends up beating an undefeated Maryland team handily. Ohio State can't run the football. There's too much pressure on Kyle McCord to carry that team. We spoke about that with Florida State and Jordan Travis. I trust Jordan Travis and Florida State, more than I trust Kyle McCord carrying Ohio State at this point.
Kyle McCord, boy.
He's fine. They can't run the football. They couldn't run against Maryland. What's it going to be like against Michigan?
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's the biggie, and that's the thing that they're highlighting this year again is you got to beat Michigan. Ryan Day can't do it. And how much longer can those Ohio State fans stand that? I'll tell you one thing. Not much longer.
Right.
Lou Holtz may be right. By the way, Cypress Park sucks at football.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, do they?
They're 0-6
They
and
don't have Harold
0-3 in the
Perkins
district.
anymore.
They also are a 6-game losing streak, by the
Ugh,
way. Sorry.
they're missing
I
him.
didn't mean
Well,
to
if they're
bring
0-6,
that to y'all.
that makes sense.
I mean, but I'm
I'm kidding.
I thought I was looking at last year. The
You're
0-3 got me. No, I had an
You're good.
athlete moment right there. It's
No,
all good.
it's okay. I'm just trolling
I'll just
you.
waterboard you after the show.
Okay, well, just use the tasty coffee.
Just
I heard the
porch,
crack
yeah.
right there. Woke me up.
Well, for the first time in 10 years, Louisville is 6-0.
Hey, now.
How about Jack Plummer, Louisville Cardinal?
Now, that's a name right there.
That
You can
is.
sell that one right there.
59,081 up in Louisville. That is a stadium record as former Cardinals great Jeff Brom does it again.
Yep.
It's what he did at Purdue, his yearly win over a top 10 team.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, Jeff Brom teams will beat a top 10 team and then lose to, like, Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. But Louisville not only beat an AP team in consecutive seasons for the first time in school history, they beat Notre Dame, who, I mean, is pretty good.
Now watch them play Pitt this weekend.
Yeah,
I
and watch
know,
Pitt.
right?
Yeah, whatever Pitt is
Yeah.
against the spread, go for it.
Yeah.
It is
1
right
and
now. The
4 on
spread
the
is
season.
7.5 Louisville. They're playing in Pittsburgh too. And that's the only thing I say. Like, don't do this type of
I
thing,
know.
y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, they got Duke after that, Virginia Tech, Virginia.
Yeah.
The last 2 games will be testy, depending on Mario Cristobal, what he does. They got Miami, and they end with the rivalry week against Kentucky.
But this is, 6-0 right now. Louisville Cardinals. Wow.
Quick question, just pivoting to NFL real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We oftentimes hear that players are available for trade, and then we'll talk about it. And our answer, fans' answers are always, yeah, do it. And then our answer is like, no, I don't see any scenario of that.
Mm-hmm.
There actually is one I think could be a fit for the Titans. And I'm not even going to tease this. I'm going to say it right now because we got Slade coming up next. And we're going to talk college football with him. Jeremy Fowler reports the Jets are looking at options for McCole Hardman for a potential trade. Inactive Sunday has not been in their plans despite a 1-year, $4 million deal with upside to $5.5 million. I would do that trade tomorrow. McCole Hardman plays on this football team.
A 1-year deal, too? Yeah, I eat that one.
Absolutely.
Going into the bye also?
Absolutely.
I consider.
I liked him in free agency, McCole Hardman.
Yeah, I remember that.
And again, that's where the devil's advocate is going to be. Well, he's a little wide receiver, and you know what? Is he going to block? Is he going to? I don't care. It's time to move on from that. If a wide receiver is fast and can stretch the defense and can play special teams, where again, maybe you don't have to put Kyle Phillips out there. If you really want to help replace Kyle Phillips, McCole Hardman you could get for a swap of some late round picks, because if this report's out there, then they're one step away from just releasing him.
You got 3 7th-round picks to deal. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely go do it. Anyway, it doesn't fix your offense, but if you want to get faster and you want speed, that's speed.
Gives you a weapon down the stretch is what it is.
Uh-huh.
And especially with injuries at wide receiver as
Yep.
of late.
Yep. Coming up, Ron Slade joins us, and it's a little Tennessee Ticket Tuesday for the people. Got some Vols tickets to give away to see the Vols and the Fighting Texas Aggies this upcoming weekend. We'll have to tell you, or I guess, Robert, figure out what section these future people are going to be in, too, for Checker Neyland coming up this weekend. We'll give 2 tickets away for Tennessee A&M. We'll tell you how you can get them coming up next.
It's Ramon for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. I just want you guys to know that I use Hiller in my home, and there's some stuff they have to come by and look for. And to be honest with you, I'm using what they have right now as a special. I have some things around the house that need to be done I've been putting off for a while, like my HVAC maintenance. That's something I'm going to have done through them. Or if you have a clogged bathroom drain, too, Hiller has some big discounts this month for you. When the temperatures drops and you start to use that heater for the first time, we're real close, because I like my house a little cooler, but we're real close on this one. You don't want to be dealing with breakdowns and issues. This month, Hiller is offering half off HVAC tune-ups, and that's something that's necessary. It's almost like changing your filters in your house. You don't think about it until it's too late, but I'm here to tell you it's half off for this month. And Hiller's also bringing back their $99 drain cleaning special for just $99, as I just told you. Hiller will get you back up and running quickly. These deals only last this month, so be sure to call them. And Hiller's work is always backed by the happy you'll be or the service is free guarantee. If you need anything done around your house, whether that be for plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical, reach out to the folks I know. happyhiller.com.
It's RKW brewed by 8th and Roast right here on 104.5 The Zone. Ron Slay will grace us with his presence coming up imminently. Whenever Robert Walsh's client decides to get here.
He's just doing his due diligence on the show, making sure there's no malfeasance going on.
Malfeasance.
You guys tell I looked up a bunch of law terms.
You did.
Mischievous music that you're playing right now.
This is the People's Court.
Proud of you, man.
The People's Court, yeah.
Is that you representing your guy? Is that what that is?
I'm just making sure my client doesn't walk into a hostile environment, a situation where he may say something or have something said to him that
to him.
Here he is
there
now.
He is.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Ronald Sylvester Slay.
He said, all right.
All right.
Rising up with the microphone. Here he is.
What you got going on there?
You got gifts for him all.
You can't give me I can't give you a gift and you turn right back around and do the same thing.
I should stand to do the show more often. This is nice.
Yeah, I know. Are we standing to do the show?
No, I guess the camera will then just be looking at our bellies.
Say it. Oh, I thought you was gonna say looking at something else. Yeah. Did you just hit the glass?
I know. I thought something had happened.
Well, the Preds play tonight. Maybe Slay's warming up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Let
right?
me on the glass, so Bert let me on his glass.
We getting you on the glass is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Put it on the glass.
Is that thing bulletproof?
Jumping into the
It's
glass.
belly-proof.
Belly proof.
My dog came through bearing gifts. That's a good
Y'all
box
mind if we
right
give
there.
away some Tennessee tickets real quick?
Do we mind?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you mind?
Would you mind?
Yeah, absolutely not. We'll do it.
All right, well, let's do that.
What better time when the roof is about to leave?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give away tickets while the roof is still on.
That's
Check
right.
a kneeling too, by the way.
That's
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a fun game though. When you just making sure you had on the right colors in the right section, and you
Sure.
was trolling people in blue.
How do
And
they
get mad
do
at
that,
people.
by the way, real quick?
They send out a map for
Okay.
it. It's on the site.
It's a
They'll-
website.
Yeah.
Check our
It always
Neyland.com.
impresses me when teams can do that stuff with their
Man,
fans.
it's a vibe. It
Tennessee
really is.
Ticket Tuesday. Be caller number 5 right now to win Tennessee Texas A&M tickets. See your Vols at Neyland Stadium this Saturday, 615-737-1045. You will be in either orange or white. Those are your two options. 615-737-1045.
And that game's at such a time at 3:30 Eastern, you can go to it and make it back
The
too.
perfect time
It is.
slot for traveling from Nashville to Knoxville.
Yeah, you ain't got to stay overnight for that one. You can go up
Right.
and come back. Be on the road by 8 o'clock, and that's 7 Central.
go.
You make it back home at like 9:30 at times.
Perfect.
Lose the hour on the way back.
Don't come asking my dog for.
What's he laughing about over here?
I'm worried.
When you have reach, sometimes people always ask you for insane stuff. You're like, no, I can't do that.
You are something else.
I'm just serious. We've done that trip before. We've gone to a basketball game that started at 6 and made it back.
If we got to get back, we hitting that road.
Yeah, we gonna hit that
That's
road.
one thing
The
we
time
ain't playing with.
y'all did what, 50 miles on a flat tire too?
Oh,
Hey man, we gotta do what we
That's a
gotta do
story.
out here. Yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do out here, KK.
Oh,
We
yeah.
ain't out here
Living
playing around.
dangerous.
Yeah, we ain't playing around with that.
Not playing out here,
Somebody
man.
called me from Michigan this morning.
Did they really?
What, Jim
Yeah.
Harbaugh want?
I don't know. I
Check
thought it
in
was
on you?
Mel Tucker or something trying to get me a slide in. So,
There you go.
I couldn't figure it out.
Well,
But
He's got a lot of free time.
got a lot of money.
He might get a lot coming his
Yeah,
way
he got
too.
a lot of money too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got a lot of money.
Yeah, I got
welcome,
plenty
Slim.
money.
No.
Shout out to Plies.
There you go. What's happening, y'all? What's
Not
going on? What's
much.
up? What's up?
Nothing
What's
but
up?
the
What's
rent,
up?
baby. Nothing but the rent.
Am I not that guy?
Hit me. Unless it's me.
So it was You my guy with
All
it.
right, thanks.
It was so many different avenues to go in this weekend. Like
Really
it was beautiful.
It was.
It was beautiful. I'm honestly gonna have to go with, even though they were able to pull it out, I'm gonna have to go with Caleb Williams. Like, dog, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, I understand confidence and you can always get over the hump. You can always get your team there. You got to. Maybe your O-line ain't doing what they supposed to, but man, boy, he was scarecrow this weekend, and he almost met foul.
Yeah.
He did.
I'm telling you, like, in that game, what was it, double overtime?
Yeah, it was triple.
Triple overtime.
Yeah.
Like, he gave them every opportunity to beat them. Like, and listen, man, the football guys don't play like that. Like, the way he was playing that, he threw a pass out to the side, him and the receiver went on the same play. It was really supposed to be a pick six and get it over with. It was so many different things, man. Botch handoff on the option, boy, he played with fire. So my you're not that guy is Caleb Williams right now, like, man, believe in your guys, man. Believe in your resources. Like, stay right there with Lincoln Riley. And ain't Lincoln Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay right there, man. Like, and you could tell Lincoln Riley was like, hey, settle down.
Be
You know what I'm
cool.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
hold on. I understand what you're trying to do, get this game over with, but hey, and he was having a bad game. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he
Throwing
was.
the ball like it was terrible.
And
About running, he ain't nothing. He wasn't nothing in the game.
Well, what's crazy about that too, Slay, is they played Arizona, which is not a great. It's not a great team right now,
Yep.
and they had a freshman playing
Yeah, they
quarterback.
did. Yeah, they did.
On
yeah, they
top
did.
of that,
Mhm.
so you're
his first
right.
starters.
I mean, this is you got to start to watch what happens there because they also don't play much defense
Right,
at USC.
exactly. So ramping up towards the end of the season, like we want to see. He's so talented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
want to see him on the big stage. You know what I mean? Even if they get smacked in the BCS in
BCS,
in the
yeah,
play
sure.
in the playoffs. It's like, dog, I still want to see them get close to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But playing like that, they ain't gonna be there.
That ain't gonna be it. That might not be doing it.
Yeah.
then.
So Bert. He's not.
Is he?
Thank you.
That's
I
right.
was about to say your client summoned you, man.
That's
Well,
Councilman Bert.
While the council of one honorable Ron Slay we do have his ear. Who has the tickets for Tennessee?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he was doing.
My man Chris is going to go to a checkered Needles.
All right.
Christopher.
Chris. Go Chris. Go Chris.
Is he wearing orange or white?
Both.
Oh, okay.
He's right on the line, man.
So
he has
was-
one ticket of orange and one
He's teetering.
Great.
I will tell this story
Yeah.
real quick, and I don't know if this is done the same way. You will see one little stretch of the wrong color in the student section because when you're an athlete now, the way they do it is you don't get your ticket until you get to the game. So freshman and sophomore year when they did Checker Neyland, what you do is as a student athlete, you go to Thompson Bowling. Shout out my family, not really. And they highlight your name. You give them your vol card. They like highlight your name Monday through Wednesday. Because student athletes get free tickets. Shout out benefits. And
I can't believe it.
I know. And they then have your name when you get to the stadium and you go in this like secret little gate.
Yeah.
And they have your name and then they highlight it in a different color and they give you your ticket and you go in.
Okay.
You know
So
what
that's
would
why
be the pro
a
move?
big portion of them don't have the
That's
right
dope.
color on.
Pro move is like wear white and then an orange over and then whatever.
I wore stripes. I wore one that could be considered
A
either.
mixture.
Right.
I did like a checkerboard shirt and checkerboard shorts.
Or overalls.
Take it
Ramon
very
really
seriously.
wants to wear those
My
overalls.
son Miles got some now.
Nice.
Yeah,
He does?
He does.
Love that.
I'm
Hey,
little
can
dog
I-
got some. Little dog got some.
Yes.
I see his little body built for it though.
It is. It
It
is.
is a little stocky, you know what I mean? Like a little lumberjack, like, you know what I mean?
And he wants some cowboy boots to go with it. They having like country day or something like that.
That's
Or
his,
for
I'm
Halloween.
gonna be real. He can pull it off.
He can. He did.
He's
He's
a real one for that.
Vince Wilforkish, like, you know
yes.
what I'm saying? Like,
That's a great
yeah,
example.
like he, you know what I mean? Like style, like you ain't gonna mess with him. He might punch you, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of little dynamics.
Check him out.
Look at my little. I pictured that without you even showing me that
That's
too.
A
awesome.
little dog, man.
cute.
By the
Bro,
way,
with
he's
the visual
slimming
aid.
up on me too now.
I like that, but I don't really like that.
You don't like
I
it?
like
From a
it, man. I
lineman
like
to a
the little-
linebacker?
Yeah.
Well, you just go grab on
It's
somebody.
like, you know what I mean? When you sitting there on the porch, man, and somebody out there talking crazy, I want to be open up the door. Let's go get him. And he's like, I'm all wild, you know what I mean? That's what I wanted. Yeah, I want him to be like, I want him to get slim on me, man.
You trying to sick him?
Yeah, you know what I
That's
mean?
like-
Pit bull style.
My dad says all the time, sometimes you pay for your raisin. I feel like Ramon's paying for his raisin a little bit with Miles because Miles is a little moan.
Yeah, both of them got.
I know, yeah.
I'm
Shout out
watching them.
my guy RJ too.
No,
JoJo slim. She's
Both
slim
of
thug,
them.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing get better than that though.
That,
Wait, what is that?
y'all missed it. Y'all missed it, man. Eke Bop is. Y'all got to show up to one of the remotes one time just to watch how
Yeah.
Eke Bop
I've heard
performs.
when
Eke
Eke
Bop
Bop is brought into the
He
show.
performs. He performs.
He
Like
performs?
he's,
Him and Joe both?
He's always on. Yeah, no, yeah.
Hey, Bob, I heard y'all yesterday talking about you good with the ladies on the remotes.
Oh man,
Oh,
Bop,
no.
Bop is. Man, you'll look over. Bop will have 6 women just over the whole court. Be like, first of all, what's he talking about? How's he holding their attention like that? You know what I mean? Then he'll just bop off, and I'll be like, Bop, you talk to him with your headphones in your ears the whole time. Like, what was going? Was somebody messaging you? You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, it's Tell you, man, Bop is the Bop of his own, man.
Yeah.
I think one time I was
Nothing
listening
like
and you're
Acre
like,
Bop.
Bop, you actually have to give out the prize. Like, go give out the prizes.
like what you doing, dog? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe,
God, one
maybe
guy.
man, that's my guy, man.
Hunk and
I love
CJ
it.
need a podcast.
I love it. I love
Well,
it.
no, but then there'd be
watching.
less Baby Titan
Both
updates
of them like
on
to talk
3HL.
too much.
They could just do it on the podcast.
Will, they would never let each other talk. Like,
Bop.
But then on 3HL, it can be Ron, Brett,
oh
and
my
Tom.
God.
I'm getting sidetracked.
Alley-oop, Will. Alley-oop,
Oh,
Will.
you're giving me the finger.
Hurry up.
That's a different finger than what you usually give me.
boy.
Slade, who impressed you the most in the college football weekend?
Man, who impressed me the most?
Who had the best win? How about that?
The best win, I would. I mean, obviously Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? It was given to him on a platter, but I would probably have to lean towards Oklahoma, man. You know what I mean? I think, although they were undefeated and they got blasted last year, I think because of the run that Texas started out on, everybody kind of hushed them a little bit. And Texas had played Alabama. It was like they've been tested. They've gone through the fire. This ought to be another stepping stone, a feather in the cap. And Oklahoma was like, nah, man, y'all beat us 49-0. Like, we forgot about that element. You know what I mean? Like, and that was embarrassing. And we don't want to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? We got some cocky guys over here too. You know what I'm saying? So it's it was good to see Oklahoma, go and handle that. You know, I'm always with when you can go horns down. I'm for that all day long. Outside of that, I would say Alabama, man. I was impressed by Alabama going to get that victory because I didn't think they could handle Kyle Field. I thought that was going to be too much for them. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's Alabama, they've been on every big stage imaginable. I just didn't think Milroe would be able to handle that. I thought the noise, that's a lot of people, man, and it's right there on top of you. It's different. So, and that's me watching it from afar. I've never been there. But Texas A&M, I thought that D-line would step up and be more successful. Even though they stopped the run when they put the ball in Milroe's hands, they said, you the one got to beat us, and he beat them. You know what I mean? So, going to be interested moving forward to see how A&M bounces back. I think licking their wounds and then trying to walk into kneeling. I think that's a tough matchup, man. You know what I mean? Because you go from your home confines and you let one slip away. You know what I mean? And that's the next one outside of when the Miami did blasting them.
Yeah.
What
And
Miami
they
did.
didn't win
you know
it
what I'm saying?
all on the road last year.
Yeah, man. This is gonna be different. You know what I mean? Those guys that grew up that are having an impact for them this year, they ain't been on the road and had an impact yet. So I think Neyland will be rocking, man, and coming off a bye with this offensive line another week to get healthy and to gel. We've heard a lot about that D-line. Rodney Gardner got something to say, too. So
I think this is a redemption game for Tennessee's offensive line based off of the way they looked against Florida.
Yep.
Show me with Cooper Mays you can impose your will on a good defensive front. And Florida has a good defensive front. This is a great defensive front.
No question.
That A&M is bringing in. I think, though, too, this is a statement game again for the Tennessee defense. And Austin Price said it with us an hour ago, Slay, that the recipe is a little different for Tennessee this year. We've talked about that all season. But coming off a bye week, does Tennessee look rejuvenated specifically on defense? Because Max Johnson is as good of a backup quarterback as there is in the SEC and has stepped in, and that offense looks just the same as it did before he was thrust in there.
Yeah, he's privy to the COVID system, to the transfer portal, all of that. Like, you know, he got experience down there at LSU. He's been bashed and booed and started and taken out and had to play this role and come in and be the savior. Like, he's been through all of it. So you expect a guy like that to be able to sit in and keep that ship floating in the right direction and keep it afloat. But I'm with you, dog. Like, I want to see what Tennessee looks like coming off this bye week. Offensive line, defensive line, of course, but more so, you got a week to fill in for what you may have lost with Brew. Not saying you're going to step into his shoes and do what he did, be as combative as he was, but you got an opportunity to go through it and say, hey, man, all right, we got who's going to raise their hand and want to do this? Yeah. Maybe not like he did it, but, you know what I mean? We need that production from that spot. One of you young guys, great opportunity. And you look back, you turn the page back and say, look at what Ramel Keaton did when Tillman went down. You know what I'm saying? Look at what Squirrel White did when he had the opportunity. So, I mean, like, here it is. Show me what you got. And that's the other thing. We were talking about it on the back porch. we got to see some more from Squirrel going into this.
yeah.
Coming off a bye week. You know what I mean? Like, he got to have his own cheetah package.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? You got to get the
D.
ball in
Williams
his
might
hand.
too, honestly.
Like,
True.
it is what it is.
True.
And then Dante Thornton, it's time.
Yep.
It's time. The same thing what we're doing, raising our hand with Traylon Burks. Traylon.
Absolutely.
We need you.
Flow too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we need you. Dante, you were heralded coming in. Okay, in a minute we're gonna be saying, okay, we see why Oregon let you walk away if you don't show up.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. So it is.
That's exactly what it is. How you expect the environment to be this weekend? I mean, it's a 3 o'clock.
Nuts.
Okay, nuts.
Nuts.
Okay.
Planners.
Okay.
Squirrel and nuts.
Yeah,
baby.
Squirrel and nuts.
planners.
That's it. Planners.
Yeah.
All of that.
Cashewed up. Yeah. Mixed trails.
Yeah.
All of like it's
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
It's supposed to be crazy.
Yeah.
Up there. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of rankings or anything, you got SEC coming up there. You got CBS game. This leading into another CBS game the week after versus Bama on the road. And you got to go on the road twice after that. Like, you got to go get this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. I think the crowd will be ready. Not only do you have Texas A&M, what they've been doing in the recruiting, but you got 2 head coaches playing on that sideline, you know what I mean, and Jimbo and Petrino. Like, you know what I mean? They cast a large shadow, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So you want to make your name? Here it is, man. You know what I mean? Bobby Petrino, he is that guy offensively. There ain't no questions about it.
For sure.
Heupel, show me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great. Just a great measuring stick for you. You know what I mean? Show me what your offense can do versus his offense.
Facts.
I'm just saying.
I'm here for that one, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a game within a game on this one.
Right.
And I don't think I don't think Jimbo slick got it, man. I don't think he got it to the finishing line. I think he can get his guys going.
Yep.
I haven't seen Jimbo finish yet. Since he left Florida State, like he was a finisher there.
Yeah.
He ain't been no finisher yet, man.
Jameis.
You know what I'm saying?
Without the transcendent quarterback.
Forget about that.
Jameis as a freshman was different gravy, man.
He was different, man. That man was out the baseball.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
He was.
You know what I mean?
Legs,
So
everything.
he was in the store.
He
The store with it. Yeah, he ain't playing around. Yeah, but I want to see. This is a great opportunity for him, man. Like, you put another feather in your cap, man, because you got coaches aligned, man, in that SEC, man, where you taking on more than just the school.
Sure.
And you got Sark and them about the Venables, or all them about to walk into the SEC. Like, it's the who's who of coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any way you want to look, young, old, whatever.
Right.
Just you got Napier down there, he don't know what he doing, but yeah, we put a little vest on him when he fall in the water. He'll be all right. You like a little baby, turn on your back.
Exactly.
Coming up,
Life raft.
few people in the world are more well-traveled and cultured than Ron Slay. See if Slay has any European advice for us as we head across the pond.
Man.
Yeah.
Please.
And any
That's
advice?
why I should have gave my "You're Not That Guy" to.
Who?
Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, right?
I forgot. Titans trying to get it.
They stank it up over there.
We'll see if what advice Slay has for us and for the Titans going across the pond. Coming up
Almost
next.
slobbed.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster from My PhD Weight Loss. We were having a good time here. That's all it was, man. I'm here to tell you guys, if you're looking to have a good time as far as changing the way you look and feel about yourself, it's time to go visit My PhD Weight Loss. Because on average, most male clients lose between 2 to 3 pounds a week. Between 3 to 5 pounds a week. And most female clients lose between 2 to 3 pounds a week. If you're looking to change your body, your lifestyle, and honestly accept it. Don't do it if you're not ready for it. But if you're ready for it, go visit them and talk to the people that I know. Dr. Ashley Lucas has a system in place that works. And I'm telling you guys, it's worked for me and it's working for others. I'm getting calls about it like, hey, Ramon, I heard you doing this commercial about the weight loss. And I'm like, yes, it works. If you're looking to make that change, go ahead and reach out to them. And here's a guarantee about their program is this. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight by the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. Yes, coach you for free until you do. I don't care if that's 20 pounds, 30, 40, 50, 70, 100. Don't matter. Until you get to where you're comfortable with yourself, they will stay by your side. Simply visit myphdweightloss.com and be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up the show in RKW, brewed by 8th and Roast. I'm not proud to admit it, but actually, no, I am proud to admit it. I'll stand on it. I think I'm on my 5th cup of 8th and Roast this morning.
Good God, boy.
Dog,
These
well,
cups are small. That's not a. Is there, what counts as a
But
cup
you
of
drink
coffee?
it when you go home, too.
Dude,
That's
golly,
true.
Will, you going through
That's
it.
true, he says.
Well, honestly, though, like 5 cups of coffee is like one of the energy drinks that we all drink.
It's cool to say you got a problem, Will.
Yeah,
You have an addiction.
That's what I'm saying.
Celsius is like 4
deflect.
cups of coffee.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It's out there.
Really?
It's like 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Well, it's fine.
And it's a normal cup of coffee is like 40, I think.
What about a 5-hour energy?
I've never done
Yeah.
that.
That's got to be 100 cups.
Gotta be.
That
I think
makes
that's
But it's-
500
That's over
milligrams.
double.
What is
up.
it, 500?
Ain't it mostly like B12 though?
I think let me double check that, but I think it's 100 per hour.
So
I know you're going to
Dang.
crash.
the charged lemonades at Panera
Oh, those
have,
are
I think,
crazy.
400 milligrams. They're so good, too. They're just like sugar. Anyway, I'm getting off track again.
I love how
Slay,
you
by the
talk
way, y'all
yourself out
killed
of it.
me yesterday talking about the Bush administration with Reggie Bush, with Chris Lowe.
Yeah.
I was on my way to get groceries dying laughing at the car.
See, hey, CeeLo threw it out there, man. I'm just trying to bounce back off CeeLo, man.
I know. Like, oh, that was back in Bush, wasn't it? Brent's like, George Bush?
Yeah, like that's
Reggie
Bush
Bush.
era.
Reggie
Oh,
Bush.
And then see, both of them turned out to be right.
2 guys that aren't allowed to have the Heisman Trophy, George Bush and Reggie Bush.
They should give that back. I'm on.
Give that back.
Yeah, George
Immediately.
had-
Give the
have a
man
shot.
that trophy back.
George had a shot.
Yeah, give him a chance, man.
Well, George deserves a trip to New York for that as much as Stetson Bennett did. Slate, what should we know going to London this weekend? Any European tips and tricks for us?
Yes, get engulfed in the culture. Don't be the American. And
In it?
Yeah.
In the culture, ain't it?
Hey, look at there you go. There's a culture.
I don't encourage this. Man.
I like it, Will.
Getting it out of my
But
system
should you
now.
be doing
Cheers,
that?
mate.
Should we be talking like
In it.
London?
No, I don't think. No,
Okay,
that's
just
part.
wanna
That's
make
part of
sure.
being the American. Like, don't be that. He can be that over here. Don't
That's
be that
fair.
over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was. Hey, it's gonna be a good time, man. I just think, man, talking about what Buffalo did, I was standing on it on Friday. That's why I bet against Buffalo because it's no way. I'm telling you, man. No way you can get acclimated that quick to going over there and playing. I'm sorry. We had Mike Keefe on talking about it yesterday, and he said, the Titans, they just messed the 2-point conversion last time, so kind of keep things the same, which, hey, I'm cool with. I'm just saying from my experiences and a lot of partners that I play with, all in the group chat, and, like, everybody saying, like, there's no way you better off flying over there Friday or Saturday night.
Right.
And playing Sunday.
Because their
You know what
flight
I'm
got
saying?
delayed, too. Like, they got there later than they were supposed to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it showed.
Yeah,
so,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think Baltimore did a great job, man, going over there on Monday. You know what I mean? I don't think you got to go that early, but I definitely would have left today or no later than Wednesday, man, because you got to get acclimated. I've done it plenty of times, getting off the plane, going to go play, have a great game, and I need the next 2 days.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But if I go over there, get off, do my testing, do my physical, this, that, and the other, and then go play, my game gonna stink. Ain't no ifs, ands, I might make it through the first quarter, but after that, it's like body is just drained. You're on a different time. You know what I mean? Clock is just off. So, yeah, man. But I hope the Titans go over there and handle business, kick some little butt. Buttocks.
I'd enjoy it.
I mean, that same
Buttocks.
teams actually just had their butt kicked last weekend too.
Yeah?
That's the reason they left Baltimore so fast.
Yeah.
They left Baltimore real fast
Yep.
because they took an unexpected L. They said the wide receiver had a case of the dropsies or something
Yeah,
like
sound
that.
good.
I mean, we had chicken wings in consecutive weekends.
Sound good.
That's all I'm telling you, man. Bert ain't
Sound
heard
good.
a word we said right now, and I love it.
shouldn't
It's
even
all
matter.
good.
No,
He said
I
that
heard
coach
it.
was so smart. Their coaches for Baltimore was so smart that he worked out with a rugby ball.
Did they really? For when?
The
So
wide
for-
receivers.
Wow.
Wide receivers worked out with a rugby ball.
It worked for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, so then I guess when the drops start coming, I don't know what's the ideal of catching a bigger ball.
Rugby
than
World
the
Cup
bigger-
is going on.
Yeah, maybe they was saluting it.
There you go.
for sure.
Y'all always ahead of the curve, Bert.
The decision with the rugby balls was a little bit perplexing, but the wide receiver coach said it's about catching a heavier ball. Lamar throws a heavier or a faster ball, so it's about catching a heavier ball with more velocity. I don't know. I'm not a coach. It does sound dumb,
Now
but
you're juggling too many balls.
It's like swinging with
I
Come on.
I understand the tennis balls and racket balls because
Sure.
I've used that before, playing and catching and dribbling and everything.
That's for hand-eye coordination, though.
Yeah. Hello.
That
F1
throws
drivers
a
do
heavier ball.
Yeah.
Let's play with a beach ball.
I've seen quarterbacks warm up with it because of the arm motion, heavy
That's
ball, and stuff
different.
like that. That's throwing the ball.
But catching
Through
it.
the first 4 weeks of the season, they had no wide receiver drops, so it had to work for the first 4 weeks.
So it begins.
Worry about your own team.
It's like
You can do this tomorrow on Scout Meeting Wednesday.
it's like swinging with a
People
donut
have
and then
no
taking the
slander.
donut off and going up to the plate is what
we
that's
doing?
like.
What we doing?
Bert's been such a champ this week, though, man. My
Yes.
bad. I hate
He
for rubbing
has.
it in, Bert.
Bert
That's
Hate
on
Week
me.
starts tomorrow.
That's
He
on
knew
me.
it. He knew this was
Bring the
gonna
hate
happen.
on. I'll
did.
allow it.
But hey,
I'll
wait.
eat
It was in Pittsburgh.
You know what about Kaylin Will?
Exactly. You don't bet on that game.
Don't bet on that.
You got, hey, y'all got to make sure y'all say cheers when you go over there.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
What we drinking?
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Little London's pride.
You know
Have
what?
a Guinness.
What's their best
I'm gonna reach
cocktail?
out to my dog, man. I got an OG over there, man. That's like he's the Michael Jordan of Europe, man. I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with him. Carlton Myers, man. Me and him had some run-ins. He said he wanted
Nice.
to lock me in the closet with his dog.
Sally's brother reached out to us, too. He's over there.
Yeah.
Sally in the chat, absolutely.
Wow. And we got
Wow,
Michael in London.
Michael
Who's
in
over
London.
there?
Well represented.
Yeah, Carlton kind of funny though, y'all. He might act like he don't know y'all. He get weird.
I
like
wish
that.
he would.
That's what made me and him get into it. We ain't get cool through it halfway the season. I got a
Back
whole
at
story
it
about
tomorrow
that.
morning
No
at
need.
6
You
a.m.
said
The Buck
back at
Rising
it.
Show is coming up now. I said back at
He's
it.
still in London.
Back at it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, there go my boy.
Top of the morning for you at 6 a.m. Be a right good show here, innit? Ramon Foster tells you to keep it on the left side of the road if you're in London, on the right side if you're here in the States, and other words of wisdom for you here, innit?
You must remember. I ain't even going to attempt to
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Leave it alone, Drew.
Your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot. Okay?
Come on, you Titans.
And